the way we discuss this is as if Red Bull really lost their performance or something, or as if they are not been developed. The thing is, they have already achieved quite the peak of performance. It's just that currently we are seeing the improvement and the development coming from McLaren and also Ferrari. So this is years of hard work. I think at least 2 or 3 years of hard work. Now they managed to level it up with Red Bull. And so I wouldn't discredit whatever is going on with Red Bull. I think they have achieved quite the level that they wanted to achieve. It's just that right now we are seeing other teams catching up, and to me it's a good thing for the sports. It's really a good thing for the sport, and it's good for the drivers as well.
And you have to take one thing into consideration. People say that Ferrari and McLaren are copying Red Bull. Actually, they are taking from all the teams around. You play around with a lot of cars. It's not just Red Bull that you concentrate on. Ferrari took the concept from Alpine. Alpine's the aero doesn't work, but Ferrari's work. So it's also depend on how it is deployed on the track.
I mean, Red Bull also borrowed the concept from Mercedes.
Exactly.
Right? that the current
the bulk.
Bulk and the zero pot.
Zero pot.
It's all cooling. It's all cooling.
But I guess copying other teams, I think
It's normal.
It's normal in this industry, right? Every team will copy. If you have a new invention, if you have a new technology, I think they will just copy.
As long you don't cheat lah.
As long as you don't copy their documents lah.
You remember all these points, they are very important later on. One is copying, another one is
Gajah.
Sounds right.
Hi guys, welcome to Paddock Show, episode 18. Myself, Harris.
I'm Kumar here, and today we are with our Malaysian Formula 1 gurus. Again, welcome back to Paddock Show, Eugene and Haziq.
Hi guys.
Fresh
Thank you for inviting us again.
Fresh from the Monaco vid, or still, dwindling whether it was real or just imagination?
Imagination, yes, but at the same time, it has become a reality now. So
Kenapa macam tak happy je?
I'm happy for you.
For him lah, for you?
Yeah. For me, I just don't like Monaco. So we'll talk later about that.
Okay, Ken. Eugene, how about you, man?
Good. For 78 laps, I was just sweating bullets. Just waiting for something to go wrong.
But earlier I heard that you were slept for 1 week, and then you just heard today that
Yeah,
you won.
Is this real?
I recorded.
Is this real?
It's real, yes.
It's real life, right?
Finally, Leclerc, after third attempt, he won his Monaco Grand Prix. What happened was, back in 2021, he was actually on pole. But
Right.
what happened was, during his fast lap in Q3, he banged the wall out of the swimming pool corner. And then basically that was the end of his gearbox. He tried to limp back to the grid, but it wasn't. So it was fatal. So actually he could have won on that year, but with the damage, I think that was fated.
They didn't want to fix the gearbox, because if they replace the gearbox, it means going all the way to the back. So
And
they tried to survive with the gearbox.
Right.
Didn't happen. 2022 pole again, and somehow rain and something just something about his home Grand Prix. I thought today will be this. The past weekend will be the same as well.
You should know that he was pissed off. He was pissed off coming into the pits. Knowing that Ferrari made a last-minute decision to change tires when they was not required to.
Yeah. So actually, Fred made the best decision. He didn't change. There was no pit stop. So 1 and 2, he changed Leclerc's race engineer. So
Ferrari smart.
Fred.
No pit stop, no problem.
Okay, I think with that, let's touch segment by segment.
Yes.
Okay, what happened lap 1?
Okay, lap 1, basically that was I showed you guys the footage. I mean, some of you will disagree with me that Magnussen was not at fault, but you can clearly see in the footage that he hit the wall first, then he swerved to Perez. But what the steward decided was it was a racing incident on lap 1. So normally, if they say it's a lap 1 incident, they can let go. They will not penalize you, but I see it's unfair. With the cost damage of $2.5 million to $3 million that the Red Bull will be incurring, this will hamper their development towards the end of the season. for them to bring the update. So it's ridiculous by which, these people who caused the accident are not liable for that. So for me, it's a clear-cut Magnussen's fault. Yes.
Being Kumar, right? You guys know, right?
Yeah.
He will always cite Honda no matter what.
It's not for siding. It's the fact that, Perez was on the racing line, and then, there was no gap, and then you want still squeeze into the going up the hill towards the elevation change. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're not gonna go around the outside and overtake Perez because he was not even front axle. His front axle was not even ahead of the gearbox. So how do you justify that he was ahead?
Haziq, can you justify that?
I agree with Kumar. It is actually Kevin Magnussen's fault. But at the same time, on Monaco, anything can happen. I do think that if it's not as narrow as that, the drivers could have taken avoiding actions. Not only the impact to the both drivers, it also affected Nico Hülkenberg, who was just basically what do you call it? A monster, basically a victim, a collateral damage of the two. Like he said, it was unnecessary for that to happen. And basically, in my opinion, the lap 1 of Monaco GP is basically the summary of the entire Grand Prix. Nothing actually happened after that, and because of that, they had to reflect the race, and there was also another incident in lap 1, which is between Esteban Ocon and also Pierre Gasly, which also one of the biggest talking point in F1 right now, because Bruno Famin, the Alpine boss, currently is now considering of having to drop Esteban Ocon for the next Grand Prix. So that is also an interesting development to look forward to. But yeah, the overall race, again, I am happy for Charles Leclerc to have finally won his home Grand Prix. It meant a lot for him. But at the same time, from a racing perspective, I do think that they have to do something with the Monaco GP. I think Lewis Hamilton actually says a very interesting point. Maybe a mandatory 3-stop for just specifically for Monaco. Maybe people will question, but that goes against the actual FIA regulation. But here's the thing, Monaco itself is already against the regulation. The track layout itself does not meet the specification of FIA. So how do you even proceed with that race in the first place? So if you really want to continue with the race out of heritage reason, then I think you need to come up with a different format for Monaco GP, a special format for Monaco GP, just to spice things up, to make it more interesting. Because, otherwise, my sofa becomes a queen bed.
But Haziq, I would kind of 50-50 with your statement, because it's not only the Monaco GP's fault. It's Formula 1 itself. The cars are becoming huge. It's almost 1 ton in weight, and then the width and the longevity of the car is already hampering taking the space with not even 2 cars are fit enough to go into one corner or to the straight line. So you must highlight that FIA is also on the wrong foot by introducing such cars which are heavier, bigger, and
it is the reason why the car is that big. That it is the reason why the FIA have introduced such car, made it Hamilton's point more acceptable. If you were gonna go racing with that kind of spec, then you have to change the format for Monaco GP. But otherwise, then you change the spec of the car to make the race more interesting.
But this spec of tires are agreed by Pirelli and Formula 1. So if you are saying that you want to change the format and then make it a bit more interesting strategy-wise, I agree. But the thing is, for F1 already agreed with Pirelli that this is the construction of the tire, and you cannot go more or less on the degradation or on the graining of the tire. So it doesn't deserve the purpose of that 3-stop strategy, because you will know that this person will pit at this particular point of time and the rest will follow through. So it's redundant. So what my point of view is that make the car smaller, more nimble. Back in 2009, okay. 2008,
maybe
below that,
you can tell the viewers what's the difference in terms of sizes from 1980 to the current season.
The cars itself already, I think, grown about 40% in size from 1980, 1990s alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Reason is usually, is as we all know, I mean, to people who don't know, it's due to safety and also the larger fuel tanks. But as cars evolve, unfortunately, Monaco is unable to evolve. So with the inability to evolve, I think Haziq and Umar make good points. You have to do something. Maybe you remove the chicane after the tunnel. I've seen people talk about it, so that there's a chance of overtaking there.
Second DRS.
Yeah, so and that will encourage a second DRS as well. That's the only area, because I mean, Monaco is in itself, you can't change. The city itself, you can't change. You can't widen the track. You can't make the curbs or walls disappear. So what can you do? You have to be a bit creative lah. So the size of the cars just keep getting longer and longer, bigger and bigger, which makes it basically you're a walking roadblock already, driving roadblock. You can't move, you can't maneuver. There's no space to get in between. You see what Magnussen tried to do. He tried to be a bit brave, and he cost two teams to about 2 over million in terms of damages.
Wow. Yeah. Double DNF to Haas as well. So.
Yeah, it basically ruined Haas's weekend. But I'm not complaining. Carlos Sainz managed to restart at third place. So.
For me,
Complain about that as well.
I think this year Monaco, for me, right? I think there is no pit stops. I think that also played a very boring race.
That's our point actually, Haziq and mine. I mean, your tire construction and also the mandatory stops, you are able to just change it when there's a red flag or safety car. So after that, you just parade lap, all the way 70.
Race director, I think, should have just said, okay, you guys must change tire, okay, even though we had a red flag. Then you will excite the race a bit. Because this year I just slept throughout the race until the last 10 laps.
Yeah, and because throughout history, right, Monaco, the highlight of Monaco has always been pit stop. Remember Valtteri Bottas pit stop? Ferrari pit stop.
You undercut the guy in front of you.
Undercut.
Exactly.
And then if you make a mistake, that will change everything. Daniel Ricciardo also suffered the same
Pit stop
issues in 2016. Yeah. So with pit stop, right, there's a possibility that the winner will be a different winner. I remember Kimi got pole in 2017, but they had a different Ferrari had a different strategy for Seb. So they decided to pit Seb first, and in the end, Seb won the Monaco GP. Yeah. So pit stop does make.
Kumar. Any comments there?
Continue, bro.
So yeah, I do think they have to do something with Monaco GP. Otherwise, it will bore the fans.
Yeah.
Monaco GP is fine. It's just that they have to change all these small things that we have highlighted. These small things makes a lot of difference. My suggestion would be Pirelli. Pirelli is actually, making a mess with their tire construction. You gotta know that the tire is not gonna last like after 10 laps or 15 laps, 20 laps. You have to stop. Why don't you do something, maybe a tire constructed like Bridgestone before this? You can last longer or shorter term, and you don't have to worry about degradation. We people out there don't know what was degradation back then. What was grading back then? What was it? And now people talk about it.
The tires went for 78 laps, right, without changing.
Yeah, right?
Medium, even on the mediums.
Yes.
Exactly. On mediums, George Russell
Russell's medium.
that nobody can overtake except for Ocon.
I think F1 drivers, they have this mindset, right? It's like, go for the gap.
Go for the gap. Yeah, but
Even if the gap doesn't exist, I want to go
then
for
it's
it.
unnecessary.
Okay, so let's fast forward. Last 10 laps.
Haziq,
Still nothing happened.
still nothing happened.
But there's the thing though. The starting grid, the top 10 starting grid from the race finished exactly the same as they started.
Yeah, for the first time, yeah.
For the first time in F1 history. So yeah, that's the summary of all.
That's all the point. Yes, exactly. And then you want to make it more exciting. Like Eugene said, remove the chicane from the swimming pool, and then maybe the pit stop area widening. The track should be widened up a bit. Maybe
Got no room, bro.
no room.
No room. They literally is end to end already. Anymore, it's gone into people's eating space, standing space.
But those days they didn't have a pit stop garage.
Ah.
Back in 1990s, they didn't have the pit stop. They made another one on the opposite side.
Yep.
So the pit stop is on the other side actually, not on the starting grid. It's the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can modify a little bit, maybe something like. But my main area, my main issue is the cars are too big, and then needs to do something
It's too wide. I
about the
think if
tires.
you use the 90s era cars, I think you still have a little bit of room to maneuver and overtake.
Yes.
I think they maybe should reconsider. But I think with the regulation change, it's maybe impossible. You don't know. So do you guys think Charles deserved the win?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
He deserves the.
Definitely.
All the work on Saturday. I mean, yes. To be fair, Monaco may be a very boring GP, but it is the most exciting qualifying.
Yes, I agree.
Last year, you saw Fernando Alonso push Max Verstappen all the way to the end. Max was forced to start brushing barriers in the last sector just to try and
Do you know?
get the P1. Yeah,
Do you guys know that all of them improved almost 2 seconds a lap?
exactly.
Compared to last year.
Alpine, they improved 2
Tractor.
seconds a lap. Even RB improved 1.7 or 1.5 seconds. Aston Martin also improved. So you look at the development of the cars, they are already at the peak.
Yep.
So that's why I said previously, the era of these ground effect cars is coming to an end this year itself. I mean, you have to push maximum. Even a little bit of change could affect your aero package.
Yeah. And I think after the Monaco GP, we at least for the fans, we will be guaranteed with an interesting season ahead. Because from the past performance that we've seen from McLaren and also Ferrari, we know that Red Bull is no longer a dominant team this season. They have a real competitor now. So this makes the season more interesting.
Don't discount Mercedes, because Mercedes brought new wing, new floor, new rear wing, and then from that differences you can see that they're only like 16 seconds behind, or less than 20 seconds.
To be fair, you're saying based on Monaco, right?
Yeah.
It's Monaco lah. Monaco maybe 16 seconds a bit deceiving because everybody was pace managing. Everybody was like jogging rather than.
Toto Wolff. Take note, Toto Wolff.
Yeah, jogging. Yeah, correct.
And as we already know, Mercedes, right? They bring the upgrades, but they don't know what to do with them. It's like some alien package.
Why lah?
Alah, macam si Monaco, your kereta lembat pun, kereta laju pun, no difference.
Yeah, Oliver Perez proved it, and also Yano Trulli proved it in 2004.
I think Senna also proved it. He had problems. Ricardo had problems, and he still held up the whole.
He was 160 horsepower down and still won it.
And that was in the 90s, right? Even with the 90s spec car, when we said it was more exciting, he was still able to hold.
Nigel and Senna, oh my god, that was epic.
Exactly.
At least there was some entertainment, somebody's chasing you, and then you have last 10 laps or 5 laps to go, and they go Kanzai.
Somewhere to overtake something that happened.
To be honest, during last weekend's Grand Prix, I low-key wanted another safety car. We almost had another safety car from our favorite driver, Lance Stroll. I was really hoping there was an actual safety car. I was hoping that he actually bumped the wall and crashed or something, and then there would be a proper safety car. Then they mixed up the race lah. But that didn't happen.
But an interesting point, Lance Stroll in the last 3 qualifyings have out-qualified Fernando Alonso. So, are we still saying that Lance Stroll is washed? Are we saying Alonso is washed?
I would disagree, bro. Aston gave the updates to Stroll.
Stroll got the upgrades?
Yeah, Alonso did not get the full package, but Stroll did. And then the current car is actually an evolution of the previous races.
Right.
They have changed a lot actually, but the problem is not the correlation between the sim and the track is not happening, because you cannot judge Imola. Imola is a straight, like a train.
Yep.
Monaco is a parade, so you cannot know the real performance of the car until Barcelona.
Yeah, which is why I thought that qualifying will be a good gauge. I mean, qualifying, there's no train or parade in front of you, but still, Stroll out-qualified Alonso.
Yeah,
in the last 3 times.
Alonso admitted that it was just a test session, the whole Monaco GP. So no point.
Okay, so let's wrap Monaco. So did you join Fred in the pool?
He went into the pool. He didn't went to the pool. He went
Charles
to the
pushed him into the pool.
It wasn't the pool, it was the harbour.
Harbour, yeah, the harbour.
Salt water.
Salt.
None of the Red Bull, the swimming pool thing, they went straight to the harbour.
Exactly. They said, this is my area.
So during this episode, we also would like to touch on a few things, okay? One being Flavio and Alpine's rumour.
Flavio, actually, his ban was lifted last year itself. So you could see him coming to the Grand Prix, TikToking here, talking there, talking crap here, talking crap there. TikToking. Keep talking, like that. Keep creating rumors. That's his job, actually.
Right.
This guy, he wants to come back in Formula 1. Yeah. The rumor was that he wanted to go Aston, but that didn't happen. He wanted to go to Renault, Alpine, didn't happen. So, he wants to come back, basically.
Wait, what's Flavio banned for again?
It was some criminal charges, if I'm not wrong.
Something happened in our neighbor country.
Yeah.
Singapore. That's the 2008, right?
Yeah.
That is one thing, but he's also a wanted criminal in Italy.
It's like criminal.
You can Google after saying, yeah. You can Google.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a wanted criminal.
Was he in charge of the team when Alonso won it?
Yes, of course. And
Yeah, he was, right?
everything was actually drawn back in the garage. This was all pre-planned with FIA. Take note, F1 was aware of this situation, that this is gonna happen. PK was just the donkey on the
This was the
or
2008
in the farm. Yeah.
Singapore GP, right?
Yes. So what happened was they nailed it, the strategy by doing that crash by Nelson, and then after that also pitted exactly at the red flag or safety car.
Safety car.
Safety car. Then he got the tyre change again. Singapore GP back then proved that only one stop was sufficient for him to win the race. And actually Alonso was doing very well. His pace was good. Eventually he won the race. And then F1, Bernie Ecclestone, they knew all the story that was all set up. And then that caused the error from the Ferrari team. Going into the pit and then making the mess again as usual. Ferrari, at times they are very brilliant in pit stops. Take note about that. So there you go. The horse was flying together with Massa, and then his championship was gone.
So Flavio will be seen in the paddock again?
He's already there.
He's already there.
It's just
Advisor, right?
a time for him to come back
Right.
Formula 1.
Okay. So another one is Ocon's disengagement with the next Grand Prix. Is he banned?
He's not bad.
He's not banned, right?
No, there's no official news yet coming from Alpine, but there were rumors coming from multiple media sources that there's a potential that he'll be dropped for Canadian GP and might be replaced by somebody else. So there's no official statement from Alpine, so we will still have to wait until next weekend, probably by midweek.
Usually I ask you one question. Throughout his career, Esteban Ocon, people try to protect him most of the time because he's under Mercedes.
Correct.
All right. With his recklessness in
I
driving.
think Toto Wolff is the one protecting him
Yes.
the most.
Can you name me a few incidents that, he caused a stir?
I can name more than a few, bro.
Go ahead. That's
All right,
one.
please.
So, if you just go to YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, just go and Google Esteban Ocon crash. You will see so many incidents. He squeezed Sergio Perez in Spa. Most of his teammates, I think, have experience with him tangling. I think he targets his teammate stronger than anyone else, in the sense that every time his teammate comes up to him, he has an instinctual reaction to squeeze them and make sure they
Azerbaijan.
pass them. Azerbaijan was another one, and
Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore, yeah.
Yeah, correct. And even what was that? Qatar with Alonso, he just doesn't give.
He doesn't budge, right?
Yeah, he
For
doesn't
teammates,
budge.
but for other drivers, he just give way.
So this is recklessness lah. So if we were to compare Ocon and Max, right? I think Max would be more talented, and his race is more.
No, you mentioned Max as another incident, 2017 Brazil.
Oh, he banged Max as well.
2018 Brazil.
But you cannot compare.
Ocon was a lap down, and he got a blue flag, but instead he wanted to fight against Max, and he was one lap down. So
He was on option tires.
and both ended up they touched, and Max spun. Both of them spun. So, and then we all remember what happened after the race where Max was so furious. But I can completely understand. It was completely unnecessary for Ocon. Completely unnecessary.
Ocon has a reputation for just driving a little too dangerous. I think he's been under the umbrella protection from Mercedes and Toto Wolff.
Then you play victim in social media. It was unnecessary. No, you already done the damage to your team and to your teammate. Despite that, Gasly managed to score a point because again, parade, the red flag helped him to maintain the spot. So, Ocon, from my point of view, it's time for him to give the way for others.
Yeah.
You know, even Mick or Mick Schumacher or Jack Doohan is good candidates to go in, and also some F2 drivers like Felipe Drogovic in Aston Martin. He's super talented, man, but then he got no seat.
Yeah. But I agree. Because I think Ocon's there's been so many years already, and he's been protected for so long. I think a lot of teams are starting to open their eyes and see the effect of Ocon. He's been in Force India, he's been in Alpine, and the results have been the same. Even apparently recently Williams, they're shopping for a second driver. Carlos Sainz's name was in the mix. You get I think before then Nico Hülkenberg, but then not anymore. Now,
But not Ocon, huh?
yeah, Ocon is in, but even James Vowles, I think he came out to say, I don't know if he officially came out to say or he said it through a third party. He's saying that they recognize that he's not a team player, so they are slowly, he's
If not for Alonso, he couldn't have won Monaco, Hungary GP in.
I mean, Alonso is also a pretty selfish guy. If you ask me, he doesn't mind squashing his teammate for his own personal gain. But when the time comes, he recognizes when to be a team player. Like, for example, at the beginning of the Aston Martin stint, you can see his PR max. So he recognizes when it's time to protect his team and become.
He balanced it at least.
Exactly. But Ocon is forever himself. So
Would you guys say Ocon is talented or he's just a risk
He's
taker?
fast but reckless and not a team player. So if I have a different team, I would never take him.
I think the correct word would be impatient.
Impatience.
Very impatient.
unfortunately, when sometimes when we're in the car, let's be honest when we're in the car here, we Malaysians especially, we transform into different people.
yeah.
Signal kita tak tahu pakai.
Exactly.
Our kepala masuk dulu siapa dapat. We are all Ocons in this.
Then they look at you like, I'm the one at fault.
But the difference is he's being paid millions to be professional.
Just like Malaysians, we make our own rules, right? So I guess Ocon makes his own rules during races.
Exactly. He turned into a different animal. Everybody is Esteban Ocon on the road. He is still Esteban Ocon on the track, unfortunately. So he cannot rein in his instinct. I would say it's instinct.
Instinct.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of selfishness, and in the split second, he's just unable to process it.
But guys, don't abuse him. It's just that it's our opinion. You are not. You don't have any right to abuse Ocon by your words. It's just that we value him as a average driver, impatient average driver, which doesn't belong to Formula 1 anymore.
Yeah.
I would say bring in more new talents from Alpine's academy. They have a lot in the pool.
Yeah, why not try? Many come through Alpine Academy. Oscar Piastri, now Jack Doohan, and who else came from the Alpine Academy?
There
Yeah,
are few
Alpine
still
Academy.
driving in F2.
Yeah, and they're all good. They're all very talented, but they all just go to different teams because they don't promote from within. So like they lost Alonso and Piastri for that reason.
Yeah.
A bit of a poor management.
No, talking about PS3, how you guys think about McLaren's current pace during the season?
Oh, Bob Marshall's magic is working. I mean,
Bob Marshall.
McLaren is on the rise, Ferrari is on the rise, Mercedes also, I won't lie, they are on the rise. Red Bull are already on the brink of maximum capacity of development. They are done deal.
Why is it?
Their car, the problem is the curb. They can't ride the curbs as much as other cars. So when you don't have the balance of the suspension, that to give the flow with your floor and then also the rear wing downforce, there's no point. You will not be able to cut the chicane or cut the corner like Ferrari did or McLaren did. In San Marino was like, oh my god, these guys are taking more curves than usual. But the problem is Red Bull doesn't have that ability. You take more curves, you lose more time. So it was basically they have to do something about it. There are more street races coming soon. So I believe or I assume or it's already confirmed that Red Bull will not perform.
Yep. Interesting to note, right? This also coincides with Adrian Newey's departure.
Yeah.
The whole of last year, the headlines, and as we know, it's public information, Adrian Newey did not work specifically on aero. His focus was on the rear suspension. And throughout 2022, why Red Bull was so dominant is because they figured out the magic bullet for their rear suspension. They were able to keep the car low, and they can take on the curbs, and their aero just worked. But somehow this season, I think other people maybe have figured it out. They've started catching up. They've learned the techniques. Adrian Newey has already taken a step back in development. I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, it's pretty sudden to see that, within 2 or 3 races, they lose the...
But I will disagree with you on that, Eugene, because why? Adrian is still working on the 2026 5 car for Red Bull.
Yep.
He's still working on it.
Sure.
He of course he is retired. He has taken his money and then all done deal. But he's still under Red Bull umbrella. He
Yep.
has to complete the RB21. So if he doesn't able to fix the issue, but in a recent interview he already said that I need to fix the issue for the suspension
Yep.
for this RB20 because he also involved in this project.
Yep.
So if he doesn't able to cure that particular balance issue and also the suspension, then I would say that he already backed off, mentally backed off, or he doesn't have any interest anymore to help Red Bull to win the championship.
Perhaps.
Because McLaren and Ferrari already figured out what need to be done, and their aero package is more efficient compared to Red Bull now. Because why I say that is the tire degradation. From there you can see Ferrari and McLaren can manage so well. 20-30 laps, the tires are still almost new, pristine. So, I mean, the bunch of people.
But I think the way we discuss this is as if Red Bull really lost their performance or something, or as if they are not been developed. The thing is, they have already achieved quite the peak of performance. It's just that currently we are seeing the improvement and the development coming from McLaren and also Ferrari. So this is years of hard work. I think at least 2 or 3 years of hard work. Now they managed to level it up with Red Bull, and so I wouldn't discredit whatever is going on with Red Bull. I think they have achieved quite the level that they wanted to achieve. It's just that right now we are seeing other teams catching up, and to me it's a good thing for the sports. It's really a good thing for the sport, and it's good for the drivers as well.
And you have to take one thing into consideration. People say that Ferrari and McLaren are copying Red Bull. Actually, they are taking from all the teams around. You play around with a lot of cars.
Yep.
It's not just Red Bull that you concentrate on. Ferrari took the concept from Alpine. Alpine's the aero doesn't work, but Ferrari's work. So it's also depend on how it is deployed on the track.
I mean, Red Bull also borrowed the concept from Mercedes. Right?
Exactly.
that the current
the bulk.
the bulk
And the zero
aero-
pot.
Yeah,
zero
That's all cooling. It's all cooling.
But I guess copying other teams, I think
It's normal.
it's normal in this industry, right? Every team will copy. If you have a new invention, if you have a new technology, I think they will just copy.
As long you don't cheat lah.
As long as you don't copy their documents lah.
You remember all these points, they are very important later on.
Yeah.
One is copying, another one is
Kamu kerja.
and another one is what? As long as you don't cheat, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't cheat lah.
Okay, before we move on to the next segment, how about Andretti's news? Is he coming to Formula One or is he not coming to Formula
You
One?
want me to explain or?
Go ahead.
Okay, I think it's unfair for Formula One treating Andretti Motorsport like this. Andretti Motorsport is so huge in America and also globally. They are in Formula E, and also IndyCar, NASCAR, whatever other motorsport category, you name it. And also they have this Red Bull, similar to Red Bull technology. Like Andretti have their branches, like engineering or IT and stuff like that. So they already have their base in UK. They are committed to Formula One, and then they already spend so much of money. Pat Simmons is onboarding, but Formula One can tell that I'm not in a million years I will not allow you to come in. Formula One Liberty Media said that, and they are proposing Andretti to buy out a team. Which team wanna sell themselves? Who will sell themselves?
Alpine.
No, I don't think so. The problem is, the culprit, I would say the culprit is all the Formula One teams that are competing at the moment.
It's a Concorde Agreement, I think.
All money.
Yeah.
The more team join,
Less price
less-
money.
The distribution
yeah,
will be less.
the money distribution will be lesser. So you guys get a lot of sponsors, and throughout the years, Formula One has developed so much. The revenue is a lot. Why do you guys want to think about all that?
No,
This is-
talking about money. How about HP's sponsorship to Ferrari? How much is that?
Do you guys know that HP is not just a sponsor?
Technical partner.
That car that you see, I think, I'm not sure whether you guys know or not, is developed by AI. They took the concept from all the teams, they correlate in the system. HP developed that car, AI basis. Is one of the first car together with Red Bull. Oracle is the technology partner with
Yeah.
AI as well.
I-
HP help Ferrari with the AI development.
I thought his speech was just to put stickers all over their garage.
No, bro. This is the first time they really into it. So you can Google it. Again, I'm not...
But it's surprisingly, right? Nowadays, a lot of IT companies coming to Formula One. Microsoft is with McLaren. Oracle is with Red Bull. Now HP is with Ferrari.
Google is already with McLaren.
Yeah, Google as well.
WhatsApp with Mercedes.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, they communicate lah. Hamilton and Toto will communicate. They switch. So what I was saying was HP is a key role that is playing in developing the new the new Ferrari for next year as well. Current and next year. AI basis. Completely AI.
Fantastic partner. No wonder they put so many stickers on them. You bring money and technology.
They used to they use the CD technology, right? The CAT software, something like that. So that is already been generated to AI. So what you say and what you instruct the robot will do for you. And it does translate in the track.
So I'll just go up to and say, make it go faster.
Exactly.
Faster.
I mean, look at Red Bull and Ferrari now and McLaren.
Okay, so you think that Andretti should be in Formula One?
They should be in Formula One.
As an 11 team or a 12 team?
I want 11 team. You know, more people, more fight. I mean, come on. Cadillac is a huge company in America. You want so many races in America, but you don't want Formula American team in F1. Haas is not purely American, yeah. They share technology with the Ferrari, Italian. So they are not pure American. This is the pure American team. Why are you not allowing Liberty Media?
Okay.
What's the problem?
Just one more before we go on to a break, right? Bangkok is, I think, almost secured with Formula One.
Don't hurt me.
Wow.
Oh, we must touch it, right?
Bangkok. Thailand.
Thailand street race.
Apparently, they were in talks in San Marino. The Red Bull boss came. The Prime Minister of Thailand was
the
there.
Prime Minister went there. Yeah.
Well, let's face it. I think Thailand also, in terms of economy, they are on the rise. In terms of automotive sector, they are number one in Southeast Asia right now. So they have a lot of money. Basically, they have a lot of money, and at the same time, the population is more than us. Malaysia, they are about 17 million people, and the spending power also now increase. People in Thailand, so the opportunity to host a Formula One in Thailand is big. So I think F1 would definitely look into the prospect of having a Bangkok GP. So it's a loss for us.
Yeah.
But Haziq, I want to touch one point. You know, most of the tourists is from where? In Thailand?
Malaysia.
Then where we get the money from? KWSP, is it?
No, we go there and spend. That's why they are rich now.
Come on lah. It's a stupid concept. You know, you go and check out all the results, revenue results from the companies in big companies in Malaysia. It's all untong, all untong only. Where the hell is that untong? I don't see any development in.
Yeah, Ridwan from our episode 10, right? Said 4,000 companies made 100 million.
No, those hundreds of million ringgit. Where the hell is it? Or dollars? Where is it? We don't see any development in Malaysia. We're just losing everything.
Yeah.
It's very sad, bro. Formula E, they don't want to host because there's a slight increase in the fee. Where are the sponsors? What are you doing? You can
this case is also the technical requirements. They didn't want to host it at the track, and they wanted to do it.
They want
for the giant
money, bro. Just put it in Sepang circuit. That's it. You don't want to have the ability to showcase the world that you can do a circuit as well. You can do it, but you don't want to do it. All want money only, money for themselves. But for the country, I don't see any development.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Formula One is a business. If you look at the end of it, back to the Andretti point, Andretti cannot enter is because the 10 teams want to make money. In their viewpoint, they spend so much money to make sure that it grows to where they are today, and they are earning the rewards now. They are seeing Andretti come in and just take a piece of their pie. So even Andretti sees it as a lucrative business. Formula One is a lucrative business, but Malaysia doesn't see it. Our neighbours, Vietnam, wanted to try and host it.
Hanoi.
Now Thailand is already fighting at the door to enter the 23 race calendar.
Indonesia, Korea, India.
Yeah, they're all fighting at the door to enter, but Malaysia is like, kita kena belajar duit lah bang, tanah lah.
But they want the EPF money. Everything else they want from the government. But there's no credibility from themselves to say that let's come on, do it. Let's do it.
So I throw back a question to Mr. Formula, Rafizi Ramli. Go and find a formula to bring back Formula One to Malaysia.
How many times you want to tell? Sepang circuit is this good, that good, this good, that good. We have all the facilities and stuff like that. We have the people who...
We were at Serdang, right? Auto show. Imagine Petronas and Sepang are not together at one booth.
Mm.
Sepang booth was upstairs in lap
Dia nak
1.
tirikan.
Di anak tiri kan.
You know,
They're
they're
not
somewhere
next
in the...
Aren't Petronas now the title sponsors for Sepang?
Yes, 3 years.
Together, you know, at the booth.
Ah,
Separate.
They're not just title sponsor. Petronas now also has
Oh,
the
that's right.
ownerships
Ah.
of the Sepang.
they used to.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then if you menang a question dekat Mites the other day, right, auto show, you only get to take a picture with the W11 or W12.
Don't know what car is that.
That's not even a real football car. That's a show car.
Ayo.
People rather come to our show, you know, they get auto at 180 scale.
Very controversial, right? Very controversial. So talking about controversies, we'll come back to segment 2 about controversial cars in Formula 1. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to segment 2. So full of controversies, all right? And the buck does not stop there, right, Kumar?
Hey, it doesn't stop there. My throat is dry.
Have a sip of water.
Yeah.
And then on that note, we'll start off with a very controversial car. 2007, Eugene.
2007 is a very interesting season. I think it was peak aero. Can we agree that it was the aero then was fantastic? If you take a moment to just appreciate the aero, I think Aziz, do you bring anything from 07?
Yep. What I have here is the BMW Sauber of F107 and also BMW Sauber F108. This is from the 2007 season, and this one is from the 2008 season.
What are the key aero aspects that make the car look so good in 07 and 08?
I think the thing is the development of this aero actually come from 2006 already. From 2006 alone, you already see some of the aero elements that you see in 2007 and 2008. But they improved it more. They add more aero elements into the car. As you can see in 2007, they start to have this horn on at the back of the car. You can see the this, what do you call it? This chimney. What do you call this one?
Chimney.
So this is chimney. This is what? This is not chimney. This is chimney. What do you call that?
Oh, the one. This actually was developed by Toyota. The first team to develop was Toyota. This is a side port aero.
So
By Toyota in 2005.
and then as it evolved into 2008, they start to introduce
Some more complex.
a horn on in front of the monocoque at the front and the back, and then there's this bridge that goes from the rear end of the car. So if you ask me, in the history of Formula 1, I think 2008 is probably the peak
Best looking cars.
the best looking car and also the peak aero looking car. Even if I were to compare with the recent F1 cars, because if you look like in 2020, 2021, or even the ground effect era, I don't think it is as complex as 2008, 2007. So
They have the 2007's got a lot of mini elements on the car.
yes, so these elements it plays a crucial role in getting the airflow going into the back of the car, and especially into the exhaust pipe. So it creates more downforce, and it ensures that the car doesn't have to rely on higher horsepower of cars, because these cars compared to today's, they only had like 600 to 700 horsepower. If you compare it to the 70s and 80s, they had more than 1,000 horsepowers, but the car doesn't have any aero elements. So during this time, these V8 engines, they only produce about 600 to 700 horsepower, but they can go really fast because of the aero package. So yeah.
Can you hand over the...
Okay, so Eugene, why is it controversial?
2007, I think one of the key controversies is I have two models of the 2007 here. Can you... And one fun fact, this is Lewis Hamilton's first season in Formula 1. And the fun fact is that a lot of people say that this is not, as we know, Lewis Hamilton is going to Ferrari, right? But the thing is, people say that this is not the first time he's driving a Ferrari. The reason being is because there was a Spygate in 2007. If you see the Ferrari F1 car and the McLaren F1 car, you will see that they are not very similar. But a lot of the aero at that time was the leaders were Ferrari. So there were a lot of elements that were copied onto the McLaren to make them competitive. So that's why the whole season has been controversial. And I have these two models here. Lewis Hamilton started the season, his first season driving the number 2 because his teammate was number 1. How they get car numbers last time was not personalized to the driver. So they order them by the constructors. So if your constructors finish first, your driver finished world champion, you get 1 and 2. Then subsequently, all the numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 was awarded according to the constructor standing. So Hamilton drove car number 2, but the subsequent season he was driving car number 22, which is the last. Why was that the last? It was because McLaren was eventually found guilty and banned, right? From
the constructors, they were disqualified of the constructors championship.
Yeah, so they were disqualified for copying. So a lot of things to unpack in that season. So I think Haziq and Kumar cannot wait to share more details.
If we were to start about 2007 season, it's actually quite interesting because number one, that's the first season where it's like a fresh new start for Formula One because that's this first season where Michael Schumacher is no longer with Formula One. And there's a lot of happening from 2006 to 2007. We got Fernando Alonso moving to McLaren. We got Kimi Raikkonen moving to Ferrari.
Yes.
We also had change in management as well, team principals. At that time was a transition period between Jean Todt and also who's the current
Stefano
boss? Stefan. So yeah, he was at the time was the team principal. So a lot changes from 2006 to 2007. So it was a fresh start for everybody, and the car looks completely different from the previous season. So I think the amount of controversy that that develops during that time, from 2007 2008, makes it one of the most memorable for fans lah. Especially with the Spygate drama and also the Crashgate.
Okay,
if you were to touch on
Spygate in a while. Now, Kimi won the 2007 by how many points?
1
point.
Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah. And second place was Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. They shared the equal points, but because I think Hamilton had more podiums than Fernando, Hamilton was given the second place.
Iceman won by 1 point. And somebody's wearing an Iceman cap today.
Yeah, always my favorite.
Yeah.
Anything to touch on 2007, Kumar?
Actually, the culprits, Nigel Stephanie and also Mike Coughlin.
Right.
These are best buddies. So what happened was, it all started in 2006 actually.
They started in 2006.
They already started planning what to do and what not to do. It also involved Renault.
Renault is involved in this as well?
Yes. What happened was, Nigel Stephanie acquired the 780-page document which consists of the important elements of F2007 and also F2008 in development. So he just took the copy and then made a photocopy out of it. And the most stupidest part by him is, why do you want to take the document and photocopy in Milano?
The guy that photocopied, right, guys, is actually a Formula One fan. So he wrote an email to Ferrari, right?
Yes.
The person at the actually it was a wife of the Nigel Stephanie.
No,
Mike Coughlin, yes.
Mike Coughlin, yeah.
That was another story, right?
And it's in the same story.
Same story.
They passed the document to Mike Coughlin. Nigel passed the document to Mike Coughlin, and Mike Coughlin had
passed to the wife,
his wife to photocopy.
Yeah, and then, as I said, the most stupidest part is, why you need to photocopy in Milan when you know Ferrari fans are everywhere. Yeah. Even the auntie in a Kadai Runcit in Milan or Italy, they know what is Ferrari. So that was a stupid move by the wife, and Ferrari found out basically. So what happened was, in 2007, Ross Brawn was in a brink of moving away from Ferrari. And at the same time, Nigel Stephanie, pandai dia, he go and tell to the media that he will be taking a year off. Oh, very smart, huh?
Sabbatical.
Sabbatical. He will be taking a year off, knowing that he already have the possession of the official documents from Ferrari. So this was already passed to Mike Coughlin, and this back then, you know that diffusers and the side pods, engine cover suspension, in front suspension, back rear suspension are the vital element. So if McLaren can improvise the aero package of that 2007 and 2008 car, they can beat Ferrari. But if you are a Formula 1 fan, you know that in 2007, 2008, it was a very close battle. Super close battle between Ferrari and also McLaren. And Renault at times. Renault, you know, they like to do a lot of funny things. So when FIA, Ferrari got to know about this, they filed a complaint against Nigel Stefani first. Brought him to court, FIA court in France. So he was found guilty of the possession of the document and handing it over to McLaren. McLaren mati deny that they don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I think Ron. I think we have to go a bit further back to understand why Nigel Stefani actually did this. We have to know that Ferrari's achievement consists of Jean Todt, Rory Byrne, Ross Brawn, and also Nigel Stefani. They achieved so many success over the years with Michael Schumacher, but it all comes down to hunger, basically hunger for power. And I think Nigel Stefani wanted a different role in Ferrari. He wanted a higher role.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I watched the documentary on this. He was actually offered a non-race role.
Yeah,
in fact, at Maranello.
Yes, so he was disappointed with that, and that's the reason why he gave the documents to Mike Coughlin, because apparently Mike Coughlin is trying to lobby Nigel Stefani to join McLaren in the next season. So definitely, if someone like Nigel, who has all the access to all these kind of files, surely you want to bring that kind of file. There's two ways to it. Either you copy or you try to memorize 780 page. So I would definitely choose the former as well if I were him. And back in the days, you don't have like WhatsApp where you can just send documents.
And encrypted somewhere.
Encrypted somewhere. So the best way is just to photocopy. So that's the reason why all this happened. But like how Kumar has told you guys just now, it was stupid of the wife to actually go to Milano and actually photocopy in that shop, because the shop owner realized when he was trying to copy all those documents, he realized this is a very confidential documents from Ferrari. So he straight away alerted the Ferrari team. So that's how it all started.
But I think if you think about it, right, Kumar said it's well planned. That is coordinated. But I feel it may have been why he has been discovered and why he photocopied it at a local photocopy shop was, I think he did it out of anger. Must have been he maybe expected something, and then he was already maybe juggling two jobs. Like everybody shop for jobs, right? So he was probably waiting to see if Ferrari give him a good good promotion into a race role, or he might be tempted by a role in McLaren. But then, when Ferrari gave him, said, maybe you go back to Maranello. He got angry, everybody acts out in anger, right? When you're angry, you tell your wife, go. Angry, go photostat this. You just tell your wife, go and photostat. So she just literally went out to the next photocopy shop and did as was told. Yeah. And I think that's how he got found out. It wasn't. Sometimes, right, things may seem very, very
coincidental.
Coincidental. But if you take a step back, I just think that he did it out of anger, and he just said, okay lah, you don't want me, I'll photostat lah, go. Nah, get me feeling, get me.
And despite McLaren and Ron Dennis denying that the team had managed to access the files, FIA still deemed that McLaren is found guilty. And they were fined for, if I'm not mistaken, 100 million euro. Yeah, which is the biggest motorsports fine in history. Actually,
was the drivers of McLaren involved in any way? Because I saw that some of them actually received some information.
Yeah, I think there was an involvement between Paul Di Resta, Pedro de la Rosa, Alonso, and also Hamilton. They actually had a exchange of emails.
Yes,
with regards to this issue. So, as much as Ron Dennis and McLaren denied that this was involved more internally, this is just involved between two parties of individuals. But apparently because of the email, I think FIA find it that they have already certain information with that issues, and they felt that McLaren is in possession of those documents as well from those emails. So
Okay. So
What happened was after that, 2007 July, the hearing started with FIA. So when FIA questioned McLaren in possession of the documents and stuff like that, Ron Dennis openly invited FIA to do 100% inspection on both of their cars. Despite finding similarities, Ron Dennis mentioned that these cars are developed based on their total own knowledge instead of having those documents arriving in 2007, because those cars was already developed beforehand, prior to the end season, towards the end of the season to 2007, and also 2008 there were some elements brought forward. So basically 2007 and 2008 cars are the same, only the changes are aero package. Alright, so what happened after that? After McLaren was already questioned and all the interrogation done, McLaren picked a name, Renault. So Renault was involved as well in this particular Spygate, because
this
Renault,
is a big saga.
Renault copied McLaren for their 2007 car. That's why in a certain way it looks the same. But Renault had it worse because they never suited well with the Bristol tyres. So they never did well at all. For 2007 onwards, they were done deal. So they were also penalized, but not to an extreme angle,
Yeah.
like how McLaren was penalized. I want to come to your point by saying, were the drivers knew about this? Yes, of course, they knew about this. So for them to say not to disqualify Alonso and Hamilton in 2007 was unfair. They should have disqualified both the drivers as well, because monetary value they can gain fast. It's just the next year with the prize money they can just cover back. But the statistics matters. So they should have disqualified the drivers as well, because they knew of the possession.
now, the reason why they did not disqualify the drivers is because, you know how in US, right, if the CIA or FBI managed to capture one of the criminals, and they will promise you, okay, we will promise you you will not be in prison as long as you give us certain information. So that was promised by the driver. So the FIA approached Luis, Pedro de la Rosa, and also Fernando Alonso. They were promised of having to maintain their drivers' championship as long as they give the information. So that was what was promised. So that's why they were not disqualified.
So basically, you were just complying to the request of FIA.
Yes.
Actually, that was the start of the Ferrari's end of domination, because Ross Brawn was moving away. All those
But domination
guns.
end of Ferrari, I think, started in 2005 already with the.
No. Ferrari were doing well up until 2008.
They want to
So
control.
Ferrari's competitiveness.
Yeah. You could say that. So after all that kind of things happened, everybody was scattered away. Ross Brawn going to Honda. Most of the Michael teams also going to another team. The engineers basically. So Ferrari was going back to the old school style of taking more engineers from Italy, so that they do not have this kind of problem. So up until now, you see in Ferrari, most of the employees are from Italy,
100
except
million, right?
for the current changes
what
that is being done.
I'm very curious, 100 million. You can actually develop a car with 100 million. Did they actually pay the fine of 100 million?
Yeah, they paid.
They paid.
All done deal.
Very handsomely, FIA pocketed.
100 million, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Especially even then. Now, if let's say you adjusted for inflation, will be how much? Well, 500 million?
Yeah.
That'll be the equivalent,
That's a
right?
huge.
Yeah.
You don't need to work for your whole life.
It's huge. And in fact, the talking about controversial and whatnot lah, but I do think that 2007 and 2008 was one of the peak competitiveness as well. In 2007, I think because Ferrari and also McLaren had developed a bit more advanced
Similar
compared to the compared to previous teams. Like for
Similar.
example, For example, BMW is still struggling with the new Sauber chassis and all that. So it was a bit difficult for them to compete with McLaren and Ferrari. So in 2007, only 4 drivers actually won races. But in comparison, in 2008, we actually had 7 different drivers. Race winners. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Hamilton, Massa, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso with Renault in Singapore and
Fuji, yeah.
Yes. And then we have Heikki Kovalainen in Hungary.
Oh, Heikki won one.
Heikki Kovalainen also won. We also had Sebastian Vettel in 2008.
Vettel won in 2008.
Yes.
Yeah, Monza. And for Sweden.
And another driver, Robert Kubica in Canada. 2008. So he had actually 7 different winners in 2008. So 2008, in my opinion, is one of the most competitive in F1 history.
And Massa lost it by 1 point.
Massa lost it by 1 point. Yeah. And in fact, Felipe Massa won more races than Hamilton in the season. Massa won 6 races and Hamilton won 5. But because Massa had 2 retirements in that season, that's the reason why.
Hungary and Singapore.
Okay, talking about 2008, right? There's another controversial about the crash gate right now. So what's the development of that? Is Massa still pursuing legal battles?
Yeah, still. That's why he's not allowed to attend Formula 1 races. Exactly.
What a rubbish.
I want to touch on the Hungarian GP for 2007. Do you know why Alonso did not oblige to Ron Dennis's call to let Hamilton do the last final lap? Because Ron Dennis and Hamilton, they were cooking up something. They were like, some development parts, they were only given to Hamilton and not Alonso. So all the break in relationship was already there in mid-season point, 2007, by McLaren favorizing Hamilton. People talk about Alonso giving out monies and stuff like that. He does all the time. Michael was doing before that as well. So all the drivers were doing this kind of, close relationship with their team members. All right. But Ron Dennis, at one point, he was fully focused on Hamilton because he knew Hamilton could win championship with this car.
Right.
And basically, Alonso was on the knife edge. I mean, he didn't want Hamilton to beat him because he was a rookie. So all this controversy, together with the Spygate, McLaren sacked Alonso. Alonso didn't move away. McLaren sacked Alonso, and then he went back to Renault.
Basically, it's a swap between Heikki Kovalainen and Alonso. So it's a direct swap
Internal
of Renault
agreement.
and McLaren. So Heikki went to McLaren and Alonso went to Renault.
Oh, I don't think a lot of people or race fans know about this. Yeah.
So
I think it's a fun fact.
It's very political, Formula 1, even those days.
2007 was also exceptionally interesting because you had so many things on and off the track. On track, there were like close battles. Championship won by 1 point. And honestly, if let's say we had Alonso in another team that is also competitive, I think Raikkonen wouldn't have won the championship.
Yeah, correct.
It's because Hamilton and Alonso took so many points away from each other, and they diluted their drivers' championship points that Raikkonen had that opportunity to steal it away on the last race. Yeah, because resources were divided. So I think there was a lesson for a lot of teams, and that's why you see nowadays the team that's winning, they have 1 and 2 drivers. They have driver A and driver B. So like for example, Max Verstappen, they always get somebody that is non-competitive to avoid that.
But driver A, driver B was all along way back in history, bro. I don't think it's something new. It's always there.
But nowadays, I think that we are seeing an evolution also, isn't it? We are seeing 2 teams also adapt to competitive drivers. Like, for example, McLaren now, Piastri and Norris, they're both, I see them on equal
levels.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting when they start battling again. So like, for example, now this season, we are seeing Max lead the championship. Where he's a bit behind is because he doesn't have Perez as a rear gunner to back him up, because Perez somehow he's in P18 instead of P2, which is unfortunate. But we're also seeing McLaren and Ferrari take points off each other. So it's going to be fun. I'm hoping that it turns out to be like the 2007-2008 season. Yeah,
it's actually good for the team because it also helps with the development of the car. When we have 2 very strong drivers, you see 2 drivers pushing the cars to the limit. So you know that if, let's say, you put a different spec in 2 of the cars, you know both drivers are pushing to the limits for each spec. So you know whether the element that you introduce really works or not. If you have an imbalanced driver, for example, like Alonso and Stroll, or maybe you can say Max and Checo as well, you wouldn't know whether that element really works because you know that this driver is not pushing the limits.
Yep.
If I put this element on Checo, I think it will make a 310 faster than the previous one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know Checo is driving it. He's not pushing the limit like how Max is doing it. So I wouldn't know whether the element is working or not. So now I have to introduce on both cars instead of just one. So unlike like McLaren and Ferrari now, I think they managed to develop slowly because they introduce in each cars, but they know both drivers are pushing to the limits. So they get to develop better.
I think that's a good point. It's not a coincidence that when you have two good drivers, the development speeds up because you get twice as fast the feedback on track rather than you're waiting for. Because to your point, Verstappen is a front heavy driver.
Yeah.
He wants the car to be very pointy on the front, whereas Checo prefers a stable front. And so Red Bull has to choose a development path. When Red Bull chosen the path that favors Max, because they know that if we upgrade the car to Max's liking, he will go faster by 5 tenths. But if we upgrade the car to Checo's liking, both of them will only be faster by 2 tenths. So they have to pick a development path. But when you, as Haziq said, if you have two drivers that have roughly similar style or they can take on a similar style, you can push the car towards one direction and both drivers can help give feedback. So I think we're seeing the...
But somebody was complaining during Monaco GP about the front wing that he was not given.
I don't know who that driver is.
Who?
But
That's fluid, bro.
that's a different case. Different case.
Okay, so moving on from
Next year.
to 08, we now have 09. Okay, I think this is very interesting. Unfortunately, Honda exited because of the financial crisis, right? And they had no financial backing.
No.
And
Honda gave 100 million.
they did give 100 million. Okay, and then they have 30 days to decide whether to continue or to actually dissolve the team. So, Haziq, I think you are good in history. Can you elaborate the viewers on 09's story?
I think because of the Spygate as well, it was also one of the reasons why they had a change in the regulation. But also, a lot of the team struggled in 2009 because of the financial crisis. The U.S. housing financial crisis in the U.S. That's also one of the reasons why a lot of teams struggled. And it's not to say that a lot of the because you must understand, a lot of these teams are coming from an automotive manufacturer. They also have their core businesses. So they can't just simply splash money into racing development if it is not justified with the current situation. So that is also one of the reasons why a lot of the team withdraw or struggle in 2009. BMW at the end of 2009 decided to withdraw. Toyota also struggled in 2009. So because of that, you see suddenly a team that you never imagined will manage to actually dominate the at least the first half of the season, and that is the Brawn GP. And Brawn was actually bought by Ross Brawn. Was bought by Ross Brawn from the Honda team. He bought it by
Legally £1.
£1.
Legally £1.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, the president of Honda still have that £1
He kept it.
session.
Reminds me of AirAsia when Tony Fernandez bought AirAsia for one ringgit.
Yeah. And they didn't even know that their car was fast at first place. Yeah. So they introduced what you call a double diffuser. Basically, it creates this massive downforce at the rear end of the car. So basically, the rest of the field had to play catch up with Brawn GP. And in 2009 also, mind you that Brawn, when they came into the first few races, they barely had any sponsorship.
Yeah, they were empty, right?
They were empty. The car that you're looking right now had Itai Pava and whatnot. This was actually the final race. So the second
Brazilian second final race.
Second final race of the
Before
season. Before Abu Dhabi. So after mid-season, after winning 6 races, they managed to get more and more sponsorship. In the end of 2009, Mercedes decided to buy the car because they're already involved with the car from an engine perspective, because that car is powered by Mercedes engine. So if you ask any Mercedes fan, if you're a Mercedes fan, remember your history starts from that Brawn GP.
Yes, from Brawn GP, correct.
It was developed by Ross Brawn, and it was sold to Mercedes. And Brawn was still part of the Mercedes team for a few years before he joined FIA. So yeah, that's basically about the 2009 season. I mean, there's a lot more story behind the double
For
diffuser.
me, the 2009, what I want to touch on something. The Sepang race. I think that was really, really awesome. For the very first time, or I'm not sure whether the very first time, it was half points was awarded, and it was torrential rain in
Due to banjir.
Sepang.
Yeah.
And they had to, they literally stop on the starting grid.
You know why Jenson Button was still able to drive on those conditions? Brawn GP did not have the hole that many cars should have. You know, when it rains, you can just pull the hole, and then the water will go through your cockpit. And Brawn did not have that done on that cockpit.
Yep.
So that's why he was able to stick on the road heavy due to the rain. Rainwater. Yeah.
Wow.
He was the only one without more mistakes than any other driver.
He's an exceptional wet driver.
Exactly.
But because of that also, right? When the race was stopped and they were sitting on the grid, rain was still pouring down and he was gonna banjir. He was actually praying that the race wouldn't start because if the race restarted, their car wouldn't have started.
Yeah.
Because dah banjir.
Oh.
Yeah, already masuk air.
Oh, the car was flooded.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't know this actually.
Yeah.
To add on to the Brawn's history, okay, they found out during Christmas itself, a day before Boxing Day. Jenson Button was still wearing Honda's overall, going for the
one
Race of
with the
Champions.
Earth
Delivery, yeah. So actually, the rules is also F1 is also to be blamed of few manufacturing exiting at that point of time. You know that there's a financial crunch already started back in 2007, 2008. You shouldn't have introduced the rule changes. You know how much money they spend to just develop a new car, and coming out with the new parts and stuff like that. It was unnecessary.
How much did Honda spend into the development of the car?
330 or 360 million, yeah. So that car, another interesting fact, that double diffuser was designed by Super Aguri aerodynamicist.
Yes. He had a great idea, right?
Yeah, he implemented that into 2008 concept car.
Yes.
They were running concept car with Bruno Senna
Right.
in Barcelona. So they had the idea of one of the engineers in Super Aguri, let's do this because it doesn't shows in the regulation that we cannot have double diffuser. Toyota made it.
Yes.
Williams made it work.
Yep.
Red Bull were coming into that after that because they were genius in the Brawn diffuser after that. So when Honda decided to sell, it's all because of the cost
Yep.
that they had to incur. Otherwise, they would have stayed.
Yes.
And then the jump of the presidency, Honda's presidency. Sometimes they make a lot of wrong decisions. Even recently in 2021, it was a wrong decision made by the previous president. With the current president, Watanabe, he is on point. He said Formula One is Honda. Honda is Formula One.
Yep.
So we would like to stay. We would like to come back. And this kind of wrong decision make errors and stuff like that, which eventually brings up a beautiful story like Brawn.
Yep.
I mean, they were nothing. They didn't have money. Virgin was a sponsor
Can you
for their freight.
actually imagine if Honda decided not to sell their team?
Well, I would be the happiest man in the world.
and they decided just to bring Ross Brawn and his team to the team, and that car is not a Brawn GP, it's actually Honda.
Exactly.
But to
Can you imagine?
to be
And they have one in a museum.
Yeah, Eugene. Yes.
to be fair,
Yeah.
there's an interesting point. I recently heard there were a lot of news stories that came out on the Brawn GP, and actually in the beginning, right, how Brawn managed to secure an engine deal was through Martin Whitmarsh and McLaren. McLaren they had the sole engine deal with Mercedes.
Yeah.
But Mercedes was looking to enter to F1. So Martin Whitmarsh was thinking, I can
Make money.
make money for Mercedes and make it look like Mercedes is the smart people. And at that time, right, the funny thing is in 2009, everybody see this collapsing project. Honda pulled plug. There was no buyers. as they see the Brawn project at the beginning of the year as a PT project. They be like, alah, kesian lah budak ni dah tak ada duit kan. So Martin Whitmarsh was like, let's make Mercedes look good lah. So he talked to Mercedes. Mercedes said, okay, this is a way to earn a bit of money and also get some good like positive light in the media kan. We will provide the engine to Brawn at a very nominal rate. With the option, of course, like Ross Brawn eventually sold it as it's your entry to Formula One. And then another, even at that time, there was a FOM, I think, or the Formula One Owners Association. They started and spearheaded by Luca Di Montezemolo. They all rallied, FOMCA, that's the one. They rallied around Brawn GP and said that yes, we need to make sure that F1 teams cannot collapse. So let's support them, bring them in, support them. So how this happened was so eventually the way the car has been designed, the Mercedes engine was the only engine that could fit into the Brawn, into the chassis of the Brawn. And recently, from what I heard was actually at that time Mercedes was the best engine, and they knew that if they had the Honda engine, the car would be 1 second slower, even with the aerodynamics.
Jensen went into pre-testing and then he said the car was fantastic, right?
He actually he did the first few laps and he was like, I don't think it's that great. But then all of his engines are like,
they were based on the statistic of 2007 engine. You have to take note of that.
Correct.
2007, 2008 engine.
Right.
Mercedes had a new engine and the horsepower was close to 900.
Yep.
So you cannot compare that.
Yeah, but easily they said that the projection is if they continue with the Honda project, they wouldn't have been as fast as.
Yeah, they will say for the media, Honda is this, Honda is that.
Yeah.
Bullshit lah.
So eventually, how it happened was that eventually they got the perfect engine deal from a £1 manufacturer, and the rest is history.
It's all stardom, bro. You see, they at that point of time they were dying to save the team.
Yeah.
There were 11 teams on the grid. They were dying to save the team.
Yeah.
But now when a team wants to enter, there's so much of drama.
Hey, but right? At first, how when I said Mercedes was so happy to supply engine, Luca Di Montezemolo said that we need to save this project to make sure everybody rally around Brawn and say group hug, everything. But after they finished 1-2, the first race, they finished 1-2 in Australia. You know who was the most angry? Luca Di Montezemolo.
Exactly. I mean, come on, lah. You hypocrite.
Yeah.
Don't be one-sided. I mean, you have to balance it.
Yeah.
When people talk shit, that's where I get agitated. You compare a old engine with a new spec, almost 900 horsepower developed new Mercedes engine to a old Honda, which they were tested like 780 horsepower, and Honda was developing as well.
Yep.
They didn't stop. They just didn't have the money to continue because of the financial crunch.
Yep.
Then you, Mercedes, go and tell to the media that my engine is 1 second faster than Honda. Bullshit lah. Seriously.
Actually, Brawn also, I think, also put aside all the controversies aside. I think they did well in terms of managing the team.
Yeah.
Firstly, they started the season
Ross Brawn is magic.
with no sponsors.
No sponsors, correct.
And slowly, sponsors came in, and they became united, and they became a solid.
He made it possible like how he did in Ferrari.
Yeah.
For Michael.
They ran this on a very, very shoestring budget. So they only had ever two chassis. There was no spare car.
Yep. Yes.
So they weren't able. They cannot crash it for any reason. They were fighting at the front, but they still had to take it to a point. That's why having Jensen at that season as a driver, and even Rubens was actually perfect. If you have someone like Ocon,
No way.
You just eat popcorn lah.
Jensen and Rubens are safety first driver.
Yeah, they were still able to win. The funny thing was, I think what helped Jensen was the first half of the year when they had to do all the winning, right? Jensen did all the winning.
Yeah.
And they were so far ahead, and they managed to protect that lead. And to your point just now, what was the fine for Spygate?
100 million.
100 million kan? The first half of the season, do you know how much Ross Brawn spent overall to manage the team and everything? £600,000.
Wow.
And they were leading in front. £600,000.
Power of the double diffuser.
And then the second half of the season, there were some bits and pieces given. But of course, Mercedes never give the latest spec.
I don't think there is much development until Mercedes
much.
works came in.
Yeah, but there were some changes in the front wing and stuff like that, and the rear wing also, and floor. Rubens he was nailing after that second half of the season.
Yeah.
Valencia, Monza, and some good close finishes in the top 5.
Yep.
He was actually overperforming.
Actually, kalau tengok
Button.
I kesian Rubens.
Mm.
2004 dominance, shunted. 2009 shunted also. Car is fantastic, but still cannot win the world title.
But to be fair, in Brazil GP, this particular GP, right? He got the support of the whole nation. You know, it was so bad to an extent that when Jensen went to have dinner in a Brazilian restaurant, the paparazzis and all the people found out where he had dinner. Then you know what they did? They go and set up cameras right outside, and they put a ladder at the entrance of the
Barrichello. For Barrichello.
No, they put a ladder for Button.
Oh, Button.
Because you know the superstition is if you walk under ladder is bad luck, kan? So they set up cameras. So everybody walked out. He walked out. The moment he walked out under the ladder, the paparazzi just swamped him and told him, "Oh, you walk under the ladder, you will get bad luck. You will lose the
But
race."
actually, Button was very competitive. You know, 2010, 2011, 2012.
He's a good driver.
After McLaren screwed up the chassis, after 2013, he was doomed.
Yeah, he got so much hit. He got so much hit. He managed to just cool himself down and won the race.
To be fair,
Won the race,
Button has always been a very competitive driver. Even before he was part of Brawn, when he was BF Honda, he won races if he BF Honda. So you can see him fighting with Montoya, Kimi, and Alonso during the 04 05 era. So Button should deserve some recognition, especially from amongst the F1 legends lah. So you can see even after he won with Brawn in 2010, 2011, he's still winning races with McLaren.
He was beating Hamilton, bro.
He was beating Hamilton as well. Remember Canada 2000?
Yeah.
Oh, that was masterpiece.
Yes. So
Longest race in history.
he deserve lah. He really deserve.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, before we go on a break, let me ask you guys a question. How many chassis of the Brawn GP is left in the world?
I think, if I'm not wrong, there was one prototype for Honda, which is the upright nose version. There is one there, the earth color. Bruno Senna drove that. He was test driving that. Other than that, I think two. One is with Button.
Yes, one with Button. I think Mercedes also have one in their HQ.
Oh,
Yeah, mine is 63.
Yes, he is correct.
I think it's
one with Brawn, one with Mercedes, one with Button.
Yeah.
So
the pure Brawn GP lah.
Yes.
It's just the shell of it. Only one of them still have an engine attached, right?
Brawn's one.
Wow.
Ross Brawn's. So there's only one.
Iconic. Oh, and one more fun fact about Brawn GP. You know, they named it Brawn GP. Actually, Ross Brawn's wife was very against it because he said, "I don't want our family name on that car, and in case anything bad happens, it'll stick for the rest of their history."
Yeah, correct.
So imagine if it was a flop, right? The wife was like, "You'll be looking at history and you'll be like, this car is a flop. I don't want my family name."
I remember going to Sepang Circuit. Nobody had a Brawn merchandise.
Yep.
Me and my brother customized Brawn GP shirt.
Customized.
That time, yes. I still have it. Customized.
Okay. Next
Yeah,
episode.
I'll show you. Yeah. And people were asking, where you guys got this from? Where the hell? And my Proton Vira back then was in colors of Brawn. The Monster Energy and stuff like that. We customized it. Me and my brother had so much fun that day.
next week you should bring your bottom villa.
Proton Vira dah jual dah. But my shirt, I still have it.
Okay.
I have Button and Barrichello, both also.
Wow. All right, guys. So we'll come back for after a short break, and then we'll discuss about safety cars and controversies. Hi, guys. Welcome back to episode 18. We are fresh back from all the controversial cars of 2007, 8, and 9. So, without safety cars, Formula 1 would not happen also, right? So, I'm sure with safety cars, there's a lot to talk about, right? Kumar?
Do you know the first safety car? Do you know? Do you guys know?
The Porsche 914.
No. It was a Renault.
Is it Renault?
Seriously. It's a Renault sedan car.
If you Google it, it looks
Okay.
ridiculous.
You know, okay, back then.
So, my question is, Renault was a safety car, right? Until when did Mercedes come and take
Okay,
over?
what happened was back then, they didn't have the freight technology like today, whereby they can just concentrate on 2 cars or 3 cars.
Does you
with
want to show the
medical car.
fans the safety or safety car?
So they just concentrate on
over.
one car.
Yeah.
Back then, each circuit that they go, they have a different safety car. So, that's why back then there was a lot. In Suzuka they had Honda Prelude. in French GP they had
Honda Prelude.
yeah. In French GP they had a Renault. So Murcielago as well, Countach.
So they
became a
changed
safety car.
manufacturers.
Yes.
Yeah, the track, back then the track matters. I mean, with the cost of bringing all these heavy cars into an airplane, traveling, it was not feasible that time.
Okay.
Safety cars was just provided by the track.
Correct.
So it's local. So if let's say Sepang was there, then maybe Proton Saga lah.
Maybe lah.
Maybe
Apa? Maybe lah.
Thing on the road is Myvi, not Proton Saga.
and it has evolved more from those days, just a basic sedan, from this beast. So what is your take on this car, bro?
I think we have to talk in terms of the evolution of safety cars. You were saying that the first safety car was Renault, but
Yeah.
if you look into Google, because I just Googled
Earlier.
it earlier, the first official safety car was actually in 1973 Canadian GP.
1970?
Oh, itu
73,
official by.
1973.
Canadian
The
GP.
first official safety car.
Yes, it was a Porsche 914. Not a very famous Porsche. And at the time, they didn't even have this siren light. They actually had a yellow and physical yellow flag at the back of the car.
Oh.
Two yellow flag.
Wow.
Call it,
Okay. All right, guys. I'll put it. I'll put the picture in.
So that was official lah. I mean, the
That was
starting of the.
So I think you can have a photo of that, right?
So they didn't even have the siren. They had like a yellow flag to indicate to people, because they don't really have the technology where they can actually press the button to indicate what color is the light and everything. So having a flag was the only thing that they were capable of. And like Eugene said, I think was it you just now said that every track
Specific car.
they have a specific car. That's why they in one season they can have like at least 3 to 4 different safety cars. In the early 90s, they had Ford Escort. They had
Wow, what an Escort as a safety car.
yeah, Ford Escort, but it was a tuned Ford Escort.
Tune. Okay.
Yes, and because it has that Ford Escort had a Cosworth engine inside it, so it was a very powerful Ford Escort. They also had a Fiat Tampra in Brazil, early 90s, but that was a very slow car. It couldn't keep up with the pace of the cars. They had a Countach,
Lamborghini.
even Honda Prelude was also a safety car until 1996, where they introduced the C396 C-Class AMG. That was basically the first official Mercedes involvement in the safety car department.
Was Bert Mailander already the safety car driver back then?
I'm not sure when he started in 96, but I believe he started in early 2000.
year 2000.
Early 2000. So, but he has been in
He was a DTM driver, right?
Yes, he was a DTM driver, yes. I spoke to him in Suzuka in 2018.
DTM driver.
Yeah.
So from there, Mercedes, even in Mercedes as a brand in the safety car department, has also evolved in many models. So it started with the C-Class, and then they evolved to the CLK, the CLS, all the 55 engine. So
The GTRs.
no, the CLS and the CLK.
I have the CLK.
Yeah, so the CLK was a 5.5 liter V10, if I'm not
Compressor.
Wow.
Yes, compressor engine. And then in the early 2010s era, they introduced the SLS. So they had the SLS and the SLS GTS, if I'm not mistaken. And then until 2015, where Mercedes introduced the AMG GTS at the time, not yet a GTR. GTS was the official safety car. Until GTR was introduced, they changed to the AMG GTR. And now they introduced the AMG GTR Black Series. So the current safety car looks almost similar, but it has certain changes. Number one, they no longer have this light. They integrated the light into the roof of the car.
Right.
So, and also at the rear wing of the car. So, and that car also has more, I think 170 more horsepower than the current, than the previous GTR. This GTR has 577 horsepower, while the Black Series has 740 horsepower. So that's an increase of horsepower. It's crucial for the safety car to have a powerful engine, because especially if you have tracks like Baku or Monza where you have long straights, if the safety car could not reach 300 km per hour quickly enough, this will ruin the tires of the F1 cars. They will lose temperature, they will lose certain pressures as well. So it's interesting to see the evolution of F1 safety cars, and not to forget that they also introduced the Aston Martin.
Yeah, Aston Martin was
an
also
official safety car and also a medical car. But mind you, it's also powered by a Mercedes engine, the same 4-liter.
Aston is also powered by
chassis.
Mercedes.
Same chassis. And
That's a new fun fact. I didn't know, guys.
yeah, it's powered by the same V8 engine.
I didn't know that. That's something new.
Actually, it's like, just changing the cover. Okay, next question is for Eugene.
Yes.
What are the differences that you see from those days and now? And what are the things that are already integrated in this car? And how do they control the communication wise?
Communications last time, I think it was all by radio, isn't it? Just by by voice and radio. So if anything was communicated through, but now they have a screen where they can choose what notifications, and it's also synced together with the race directors so that they know exactly what kind of warning and when the cars will be called in, safety car in this lap. The same graphics that you see on the TV screen, safety car in this lap, safety car, they are also displayed on the car itself. And on the car also, they're able to advise race director in the race director room what kind of what's the situation and whether they need to extend the safety car in this lap or not.
So what is the difference between virtual and also the full safety car?
Well, VSC is, as you say, is virtual. The safety
Which Grand Prix did, sorry to interrupt,
yeah.
Which Grand Prix did the VSC start? Was it Singapore?
We have to find out which season first.
Which season?
If I'm not mistaken, it's 20.
During the COVID time, I think.
Yes.
The COVID time.
Maybe maybe around that 2020, I think.
Because they had less marshals on the track.
So it's like during COVID time, not only we work from home, even the safety cars.
Yeah. But we race as one.
Yeah, we race as one.
So I see. Yeah, but
Okay, continue.
yeah, virtual safety cars are basically like you say, it's virtual. It's not there. You drive around as if there's a safety car. So everything's been throttled down. You have to achieve a time delta, which is about I think 40% of what the actual race time. So an actual safety car is a physical one where the safety car pulls up and collects the race leader, and everybody just goes in procession behind the safety car.
Another interesting to take note, if you actually there's a video on YouTube where Brawn actually explained on the safety car. If you open the rear boot of the car, it's not empty. There's a lot going on. It's like a complete. It's like a CPU.
Yes.
The car itself has
There's a server inside.
there's a Wi-Fi router inside. There's a radio system inside, telemetry, as well as a car lock system. So basically, it's like a black box of the safety car. So whatever that's Brawn has done, how fast he has gone or whatever decision he has made on the system will be recorded in the log, so that post race they will also see not only just the racing incident, but during the period where the safety cars is in action, they will actually have the data, what was the decision that was made by the control team from the FIA and also from the co-driver and also the driver.
Wow.
It was crucial.
Wow.
And one of the famous incident I think everyone remembers was the 2021 Abu Dhabi GP, right? Where they allow only certain cars to.
That was very controversial.
That was very controversial. So when they wanted to investigate, they need to know what was the decision made by every single parties, every single people who are involved. That's why the so-called the black box of the safety car is crucial to have in this car.
But do you guys know that all the teams agreed during the meeting earlier of the season that during a scenario of a safety car, if there's a green light situation, despite being 1 lap or 2 laps, the race should go on? All the team principal agreed on that.
Oh, okay. That's
Then how is it defined as controversial? And this is also in Google. Everything is facts.
Wait, I have another question. For safety cars, right? Well, why is it that safety cars they I always gonna complain that they don't go fast enough. Just now you said they reach 300 km per hour, right?
Yeah,
I mean, how come every time I hear the race leaders complaining that the safety cars don't go fast enough?
It's the acceleration. If you want to compare the acceleration between the AMG GTR versus the F1 cars today, this car is more than 1 ton, whereas the F1 cars is also heavy but it's slightly
Less than one.
Brakes different, the tires
Brakes are different. You know, you see that Max Verstappen basically is just cruising whenever it's safety car, but it's a different story inside the AMG GTR with Bernd Mailänder. He is throttling it all the way to the floor. The engine revving is all the way inside there. It's like another fighter jet on its own.
Yeah.
So that is why if you ask me, the only way for you to solve that solution is to have a actual race car as a safety car. Maybe an old F1 car, maybe an F2 car.
Most of the times they whine is because of the tire temperatures. That's all.
No, I see.
They lose the tire
They do
temperatures.
the swerving, right? During the
Yeah.
laps.
Some people like it, some people don't like it. So it's the tire temperatures actually. These cars are blindly fast. I mean, 300 plus.
Okay,
kilometer.
I'll go around. Name me one safety car incident in a Grand Prix that you are very fond of. Kumar.
I recall Brazil 2001.
Okay.
That was a stupid mess. I don't know who's the driver. I can't recall. But they literally stopped on the Senna SS. And then Nick Heidfeld was coming and there was no yellow flag. No warning by the team, Sauber team, to Heidfeld that there's a safety car. Stop there. I think 2003, not 2001. When there was a rain, there was a standing water. So there was quite a carnage that race, whereby Michael also crashed during that particular race. So what happened was, the safety car stopped, Nick Heidfeld came, and then he straight away banged the door of the safety car. Thank God nobody was
He
injured.
banged the car.
Yeah, he crashed into the car.
The door was broken.
Wow. Okay.
And then imagine no halo, and then Hans was introduced recently at that point of time. So a bit more, his head could have been crushed.
Was he given a penalty for eating the car?
I mean, it was a safety car's fault, so no penalty was given.
Yeah, penalty to the safety car.
Right.
Because the communication need to be from the safety car to the team,
Yes.
then
To race
the team
control.
because not everything they can cover.
Yeah.
You know, that one, we didn't have GPS and stuff like that advanced as what we have now.
Yes.
So now everything little bit, this small carbon fiber on the track, they would say virtual safety car already.
Yeah.
So it's the difference, totally different. That is one of my race that I remember watching 3 a.m. in the morning, Brazilian GP, when it was raining and safety car.
How about you?
I don't think I have a good memory of safety car incidents. Probably one famous one is 2021 Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because these days, right, it's a bit different from last time. If they felt that the incident that happened is taking too long for a safety car situation, they will just end up decide on a red flag situation. So you, in a way, it will avoid some of the complaints like what Eugene mentioned just now, one, and number two, any unnecessary incident with the safety car itself. So I think from FIA's perspective, it's much safer to red flag the race to make sure that the track is clear before they can start again.
Eugene?
One fond memory of safety car will be, for me, I think Spa 2021, where it was raining so much that most of the race I just watched the safety car lead the from start to end.
I just tried to remove the water from the track.
Yeah.
From lap to lap to lap, and how many 100 liters? To 150 liters.
But then eventually they just had that as a procession so that they can award points and done.
Correct.
That was fun. I've seen so much of the
Probably the
There are
best days
also
for
Grand Prix that was one under SC, right?
under safety car.
Brazilian, Australian GP, 2009, safety car.
Melbourne GP.
Yeah, safety car.
One under SC.
Safety car.
Australian GP.
Yeah, 2009, Jenson Button 1-2. Safety
Yeah. Because Rubens came back from midfield.
Right.
Yes.
There were quite a number of them.
Yes, quite a few, huh?
Yep.
And then I think SC, there are certain tracks that's got a lot of SC situations where you can actually take advantage of certain tracks. I think Monaco is one of them actually.
Monaco,
But unfortunately, not this year.
Yeah, you're right. There are certain tracks that actually teams plan for a safety car. They'll be like usually within 20 laps there must be a safety car. Abu Dhabi was what?
Montreal will be one of them.
Montreal.
Yeah. Montreal's coming up.
well.
Yeah.
Baku, Singapore GP,
Singapore.
and Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas as well. Yeah.
Vegas and
Yeah, Vegas. And then also, which track is prone to safety car?
three street tracks I noticed.
Speed tracks, yeah. Fast flowings.
Yeah.
Silverstone.
Valencia.
Valencia.
Yeah. About Valencia.
Valencia they had before.
Yeah.
But now I think it's already abandoned.
At the track.
Abandoned city, bro. The paddock is still there. The garages are still there. The track, the rumble strip, all there.
Yeah. But we can actually go visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's knowing that
So when
that was Michael's last podium.
So do we do a
Oh, Valencia is Michael's last podium.
Yeah.
2000.
Oh, I didn't know. I see. That's nice.
So something to look at too, like the Roman Empire fallen.
Okay, so I think a lot of people follow DTS, and I think the most recent controversy about safety car is Abu Dhabi 2021.
Yes.
What's your take? Was Mike Messi's decision correct or wrong?
Who want to go first?
You can say it's wrong, but at the same time, he also made a lot of decision in the past wrong as well. So you cannot just argue one incident. You have to go back like even the start of the race, even the races previous round, they make quite a number of wrong decisions. So just to say that just to justify Hamilton should have won just based on that incident, I don't think it's right. We have to analyze how many times Messi actually made the decision wrong. So I think it's one way for Michael Messi to make up to Max Verstappen. He felt maybe they have made a wrong decision along the way in the entire season, and it's wrong. But at the same time, I felt it was fair for Max Verstappen.
My take is I think it's fair that they asked the top 5 backmarkers to go, because if you were to clear all the cars, I don't think you have enough laps.
And they could have done it a lap before.
Eugene?
I think we look at facts. Is Michael Masi still the race director?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He's been at first he stepped down, and then he's still within F1. Then all of a sudden he quietly 6 months later disappeared. Is the process of being a race director still the same? No. Now we have a race room full of I think stewards and three race directors, right? So I think there was some fault in there. That's why they changed the process. If nothing's wrong, they wouldn't change it, right? But I wouldn't dispute the race results. The race results, I think at the end of the day, what's happened at the finish line should stay as it is. Same like every other country race this season. But I think the process, I think how it was done was probably not right. That's why they
just like
fixed it.
football and VAR, you can dispute every time when the game is finished, but final decision is final decision.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So I think we shouldn't use that as an excuse to dispute championships or whatnot. I mean, what's done is done.
That was Kumar's favorite nemesis always is about that race.
I follow what is the rule stated in FIA rule book. I mean, I have here as well. So this was agreed by the teams way back, that if there's a green flag situation, if you have a 1 lap race available to you, the race director have the discretion to decide whether to end the race with the safety car or go green flag.
Yep.
Mercedes did a mess by not pitting Hamilton. That is a clear cut. That was a rocket ship at that point of time. He could have won easily by pitting in, but he did not. So he still want to blame Masi for that. I don't know how is Masi's fault lah. Based on that.
I mean, you're right. It's Mercedes' strategy. They opt to defend track position.
Yeah. Another point to prove is that after the meeting, I mean that was agreed so many years before. Now they changed that process. Why? Because they felt it was unfair for Hamilton? I don't think so. No. It was just to show that they made a mess in a way to cover up the. the social media carnage that was going on.
I don't think they change it to make it up to Hamilton. I think they change it to make sure that this kind of situation won't happen.
Hamilton meraju tau.
Of course, Raju.
Dia 3 bulan dia tak masuk social media tau.
Bukan sakat Hamilton bro. Dia punya bapak Toto pun sama.
Anybody will merajuk.
Itu dia. They sack Michael Masi and he's now better off in VS Supercars.
Did you guys see how Toto reacted with that result?
You as a brand ambassador
That was really
carrying
fun.
a Mercedes
Throwing
name.
the earphone and then say, "Oh, please send me an email." What email?
Michael, this is so wrong. This is so wrong.
So it was actually allowed to let the 5 cars go. It was in the rule book at that point of time. They changed it there also. So which is fair and which is not unfair? You guys decide. You have your mental capacity to do that. But I don't think that was any wrongdoing by Red Bull at any point of time.
But to be fair, also, I mean, if you're Toto or you're Lewis Hamilton, there is no scenario in any world that you would say that yes, you were right, we lost it. It's in their best interest to defend.
That's the natural reaction coming from them.
And publicly, they have to do it. They can't be seen saying that, oh no, Max won it fair and square. No way. Then Mercedes will be like, what are all this funding for if you don't fight for your team?
You messed up in Imola. You messed up in Azerbaijan. You messed up in Hungary.
Yep.
You messed up in Silverstone. Come on, everything is there. It's just that people whether to accept or not to accept.
Yeah.
Simple.
Because previously the safety car rules was a bit different. Like back markers in front, when you want to start restart the race, you didn't have to you didn't have to go around, right? But now you have to go around.
No, it is always the same. They had to go around.
Yeah.
They need
Previously, I thought there was a rule change.
No. It's, back markers.
You release the back markers first before the outlet.
Yes, you have to release the back markers. But what happened in Abu Dhabi was that there were 5 back markers in between. That in disturbance for the 2 rivals at that point of time. So what Masi decided and the team decided that let the 5 car go in between, unlap themselves, and then go ahead with the race.
But a few of the drivers at the back was complaining, that this is unfair.
But they already a lap down.
Yeah, they already a lap down.
So there's no unfair or fairness there. If you want fairness, you should be on the same lap, which they were not. And all the drivers behind them pitted for soft tires. Simple basic rule. You change to the fastest tire. Masi. They built Masi for that.
The one behind Max Verstappen at the time.
Carlos Sainz sold out all the soft tires, bro.
No, the car directly behind you was Daniel Ricciardo, right?
No,
He was the one who had the view of the whatever is happening.
Norris.
Oh, Lando Norris.
Norris. He had the new tires as well. And he was a back marker. But he never kacau. You see the difference?
That call is extremely tough though. I think Ferrari made the same mistake as Silverstone with Charles Leclerc. He was in the lead and he didn't pit. Everybody behind him pitted for
Yeah. So it's decisions.
Was Binotto part of that?
Yes.
You need to hold it up.
I really don't like Binotto. a bit of a segue.
Yeah.
I think Binotto is the worst team principal ever. He cannot do any race strategies.
Bro, sorry to tell you, Binotto is one of the mastermind for Michael.
Was he?
He was developing engines for Michael.
During that dominance era?
I would tell.
Not Ross Brawn?
No, Ross Brawn was on the engineering side. Binotto was the mastermind for the V10 engines and V8 engines.
For all the race strategies.
There's actually a video where Michael became the interviewer. He go and interview one of
Binotto. He's a loyal Ferrari guy. You know that. I'm sad for you to say that. But you don't like Binotto.
But when Binotto was managing the team, he was horrendous.
Maybe management side, I'm not sure. But
maybe technical side is different.
He developed this hybrid engine, to become this powerful now. Last year, it is his engine.
It's under Binotto's direction that they had the 2019 engine as well.
Correct. 2021.
The controversial one where they had the fuel flow issue. Yeah.
Correct.
It was under Binotto.
Yes. But he was not made known of that. I'll come to that later.
So basically, this is a guy in the hiding scenario, and he's more of a technical guy rather than the front.
So he is going to Aston. He's coming back to Formula 1.
Yeah, I saw
Aston.
that. Yeah.
I think it's a good move.
Good move, yes.
Yeah.
Technical side, hybrid wise.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate Fred Vasseur? I really want to appreciate Fred Vasseur because the way he has turned around this team, he has been able to unroot all those deep-rooted personnel that could never be moved before this. When he came in, I had my doubts. Honestly, I had my doubts because that guy is a clown.
clown.
He's a clown. I seen him. I'm like, oh, this guy's just gonna get kicked out in 6 months. But so far, he has been able to uproot and change the team to his liking. He's taken away Inaki Ruiz, the strategist, one of the key strategists that in Ferrari. He's gotten rid of the Lauren Mekies.
Yeah.
Lauren Mekies. He's also a very long time in Ferrari, but I think he's part of the old Ferrari politics.
Lauren
Makis
wanted to go higher level.
Yep.
But he was denied.
Correct.
So he chose to become team principal in Army.
I believe it's because he wanted more power, but Fred just didn't give him that option. And also eventually now the Sabi, Charles race engineer.
Yeah.
I mean in two races that he took over the new performance engineer. His record is 1-2. That's amazing.
Race conversion.
But bro,
Yeah.
I think I need to give credit to someone else. Not Vasseur.
Who?
I will give to John Elkann. He's the mastermind that he's cooking up all these scenes. Vegas last year. So it's not Vasseur. It's John Elkann.
Yeah. But I mean, he put Fred in place. I mean, I agree. They both deserve equal
So
credit.
the changes that you see internally is all from the president.
Yes.
If Binotto had that power at that point of time, he would have done the same. So I don't blame Binotto at all.
I mean, I don't. I'm not saying Binotto is bad, but
Because-
I mean, John Elkann managed to empower Fred to be able to do all these changes,
Correct.
and we're seeing the.
So why blame the team principal back then when they're not able to do all these changes? Because the head was not allowing.
It's the power struggle.
Yeah,
power struggle. You look at Maurizio Arriva Beni era and also Matteo Binotto, in terms of decision making, they are not as powerful as like when Jean Todt was the principal.
Even Montezemolo, even Luca.
Luca was very passive. I think the one that called the shots was Michael and John all the way.
Exactly. That's the difference that you see then and now. So when you have mixed culture, diversity, this is the diversity that we should talk about, not just about black and white. Diversity in terms of mechanics.
I think
Engineers.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Setting up for the shot.
This is what we should be looking at. People talk about just one-sided story, but they don't go deep down and check on the ground, on the dance floor, what is happening. DJ will just spin the song, but what is going on the floor, you need to look at it.
Yes, correct. So to end safety car controversies, what are some of the hopes that you have for safety cars in F1?
I do hope that F1 will introduce a different manufacturer into
Aside from Aston Martin and Mercedes.
aside from Mercedes and Aston Martin. Hoping Porsche. Yeah.
How about BM?
BM as well, but
BM is already in
MotoGP. So I think Porsche will make a good safety car as well.
Audi?
Perhaps I think if their manufacturer is a working team, maybe they can consider.
That's true because Porsche is not in Formula One. Maybe that's also one of the reasons.
Sir.
But I think it will not happen. It's
Won't happen.
very rare chance here.
They will still stick
Slim
to
chance.
Mercedes.
It will still be Aston and
Because Mercedes is contracted, right?
Yeah,
Because it's a contract. That's why they
Contract basis.
and Aramco basically owns Aston. So
Contractor is one thing, but also to integrate the whole system into the car.
Right.
It's not like you just send to the bengkel and then have it change, modify here, modify that.
beli 2,200 GPS letak dalam.
This is basically
Bluetooth connected.
modified by Mercedes factory themselves. They had
Right.
the wiring because the amount of wiring that's involved in the safety car
The development.
a lot. So they had to modify a little bit some of the path for the wiring and everything. They integrate an iPad and actually 2 iPad inside, an actual iPad, not just any tablet, iPad, because they have to. iPad basically is the only what do you call it?
Interface.
Processing. They have the chip that can cope with whatever activity that they want to do inside the track side. Yes, the processing power is the most powerful among any other tablets. So it has to be responsive and everything. So they had iPad integrated into the car as well.
That's new.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, we'll end this segment, and then we'll finish off with next week's race, which is Canada and also Spain.
Yeah,
Right.
Barcelona.
Okay. Stay tuned, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Final segment for episode 18 with myself, Harris.
Kumar here.
Okay, so we have Eugene and Haziq. So next week, by the time you guys are watching this, we have Montreal and we have Catalonia,
Barcelona, yes.
right? Okay, so what can we expect in these two races, Haziq?
Definitely different from Imola and Monaco. I think Canada, although it's a half street circuit, half park, I still think there's a good opportunity to overtake, especially at the final stint. But then again, with the current development of from different teams, it's a bit hard to predict. But it should be an interesting fight between the three top teams of McLaren and Mercedes, and also Red Bull. Catalonia is also a technical track, but it's not as easy as to overtake like other tracks. So it'll be interesting to see. And I also believe that some team will bring some upgrades into Catalonia as well. So maybe Mercedes,
Mercedes.
something.
Okay. Kumar?
Canada, they made some layout changes due to safety. Turn 3, 4, I think. Turn 3 and 4. They moved away the barriers and then they put more gravel.
I love
Going
those
into-
kind of upgrades.
Yeah.
Gravel is always
Yes, gravel is always the best, teacher
it's
for all those,
Yes.
cutting the corner and track limit. I would expect a bit of different race in Canada. Maybe it's a high-speed track. And then, like Haziq said, street circuit element is there. Kind of hot sometimes in Canada,
Hot, eh?
so the tires will play a low role again.
Yeah.
So if it's all about managing tires, then I would go for Ferrari. Not sure Sainz or Leclerc, but I will go for Ferrari.
And I was excited to see also who will hit the wall of champions first.
hit or brush.
Should be Stroll lah.
Who hit? Was it Michael did hit?
Villeneuve hit, Michael hit,
Yeah,
White
Michael
hit,
did once, right?
Jensen hit, Ralph hit, Takuma satu hit.
Champion that.
They should never remove
IndyCar
that
champion
wall.
2 times.
That wall is amazing.
So close,
Lasted in Montreal.
Yeah.
But Eugene?
I'm actually excited to see Red Bull's DRS advantage. That has been their big selling point the last year, even earlier this year. Every time they open the DRS on a straight line speed, especially in such a long straight in Canada, they would usually just walk over the competition. But I think that will be a key indicator of how we are going forward. And also Red Bull's development. Adrian Newey did say that by Imola the car is going to look very different. So far we haven't seen that yet. I think the upgrades have been delayed.
They delayed, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still looking forward to the upgrade to see whether my prediction still stands, whether it's over. But as of now, I think I'm happily wrong. So we are getting two very different tracks again. But yeah, I'm interested to see how if Red Bull can still maintain their DRS advantage, or if McLaren and Ferrari are now in the bigs.
But if you ask me, Ferrari already gained. They were just 3 kilometers away from Red Bull.
Which track was this?
Saudi. They were just 3
Oh, in
kilometers.
Jeddah.
Yeah, short of Red Bull. Ferrari catch up already, bro. It's just about managing tires. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The curves that you are managed to take and the tire degradation.
Yeah, no, that's a
Simple as that.
They will have to ride the curbs a lot in Canada.
Correct. So again, it's I think Ferrari will nail it. Maybe McLaren will push more a bit.
But if historically, I think Ferrari always does well in Canada.
Canada, yes. Canada.
But they,
It's rapid though. It's so fast.
McLaren is rapid. I think they gain a lot of momentum.
Especially on the soft and medium tires, they are way ahead of Ferrari and Red Bull.
Yes. Even
Long runs.
It was the Miami Grand Prix where Norris won. It was on medium tires, wasn't it? Yeah. He just pulled away from Verstappen, so it'll be interesting to see if they run that compound.
The raw pace is there. It's just a matter of time, lah. I mean, now this is an open season. Let's see who gets it right.
It's good thing to be excited about all the developments, but I just want to remind everybody that it's still Max Verstappen behind the wheels. So I think you guys also mentioned this is the drivers that makes the difference.
Yeah.
So in the end of the day, maybe the car can outperform the Red Bull, but Max sometimes, he can push the car to even beyond the limit of the car. So that could
This
make the
reminds me of one race that Michael was stuck in 5th gear. Which Grand Prix was that? he drove in one Grand Prix with just one gear working,
No, I
which
can't
is the
recall.
fifth gear. We need to Google it up. I remember very well. And he won that race.
I remember Senna did it, 6th gear,
Yeah.
in 1991,
Brazil.
Brazilian GP. And then, reliability-wise, Ferrari is rock solid. I never had any issue. Coming to that, no, I can't recall.
2022 they were poor though. Their engine kept blowing up.
Yeah, that is because of the battery.
Yeah.
Most of the time, battery and turbo.
Yeah. So 2020.
That is where Binotto improvised the structure of the engine. So, what do you see now?
They were more reliable.
Yeah.
Admittedly, yeah.
Spain will be interesting because pre-season testing is done.
No more.
No, yeah, used to. Now it's Bahrain, right?
Bahrain.
So actually now it's not a level playing field.
Barcelona is very hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
So you will again expect the tire to perform.
Uh,
If you cannot maintain your tire in a good window, finish.
Do you guys expect any surprises?
Mercedes.
Mercedes?
Yeah, I will go for
Mercedes to rebound?
Mercedes have been very good with tire strategies in Spain. But the thing is about Spain, it's not, although it's a technical track, the overtaking opportunity is not that much. So expect some boring race from Spain.
Boring race.
I really think it's going to be a boring race in Spain.
The reason why we say Mercedes is because Mercedes already bring a new upgraded car for Russell. Mind you, Hamilton never get it. So this car, why? Tak tahu dia
Hamilton said he.
Yeah, well,
Russell.
I think very
dia derma kat Russell good.
very simply, right, he's exiting the team. So there's no point giving him all the
But
good upgrades.
Jokes aside, I think we need to discuss this seriously. What is going on with Mercedes? I think we have not touched about Mercedes. We talk about the safety car of Mercedes, but we haven't touched on Mercedes and the potential they can actually have this season. With, I mean, it's George Russell and Lewis Hamilton at the back of the wheel. But what's going on? Why is
No, you have to.
Aren't they losing a lot of engineers also to
That is
other
one thing. A lot of people going everywhere, to Ferrari, to Red Bull, to McLaren as well. Mercedes engineers. So they're bringing in new people which are from the scratch, from their own engineering colleges and stuff like that in UK. So what happened was there are more and more new parts coming into the Mercedes, which they cannot decide. You know, whenever they introduce something new, it's the same. You know, the car feels different from Q1 to Q2 to Q3. It's always different direction. So which setup they want to use?
That's because
They cannot decide.
of their correlation issue. They're still having the correlation issue where what they expect did not turn out the result on track.
So they will blame Mick Schumacher for that lah, because he's the sim driver.
Collateral
I don't know whether it's the aero package or the aerodynamicists or the engineers or the sim drivers that are behind that.
But Hamilton did complain that the setup that he will have on qualifying is not the same that the one that
Correct.
he had in free practice. But so what's the reason behind that? Because this has been going on for multiple races now.
Even last year,
Even last
even last year he spoke about it. That my car is the difference, but Russell's car is performing. How?
Is it just pure complaint or is actually the actual
The
fact?
balance is shifting lah, bro. Simple as that.
Balance shifting.
Yeah. George Russell.
Do you
with
guys
the-
think that Lewis will do well in Maranello?
I hope not. I want Leclerc I want Leclerc to smash him to the pieces. I will be direct. I really want Leclerc to perform better than him. Simple as that. Because Leclerc is a long-time investment for Ferrari since Sauber days. So it will be a shame and also embarrassing if Hamilton within a year can beat him up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he's a long-term game.
Yeah.
Charles is a long-term game.
And it's pretty demoralizing, right? If you spend so many years.
And then you have a new driver and just beats the hell out of you, right?
Or we could get a Daniel Ricciardo situation where, he comes in and just flops.
Deep down, I'm still a Ferrari fan. So, if when he comes in to Ferrari, that was so much heartbreaking for me. I don't know about you guys. If he beats Leclerc, I tell you, oh my God, the world is gonna
You
erupt.
buy a 44 diecast.
I would buy Leclerc lah.
So the 44,
I won't buy Hamilton lah.
So you buy a 16 instead.
16 lah, 16.
Mix in
16 or 5. This year 55, 16.
55 or
Yeah.
16.
Here's my prediction for 2025 with Ferrari. I think they're going to win the constructors. That's my prediction.
Okay.
2025. But it's not going to be good between the two drivers. I think the relationship for now it's hyping. Is they are very respectful of each other, but knowing how Charles have been treated in Ferrari, especially when he complains certain races where the team favoritised Carlos over him, or probably the strategy is not working with him. And if he's going to get the same treatment again next season, the relationship wouldn't be good between him and Hamilton.
Is he bringing any engineers with him, or he's just going there by himself?
No, he's not allowed to bring most of the engineers from Mercedes. Toto blocked it.
Toto blocked it.
Yeah, even Bono wanted to go. but then
Bono,
he
yeah.
blocked it.
Oh,
Did
okay.
the two key Mercedes personnel transfer over to Ferrari recently?
Yeah, that one is based on contract. So that one different. You cannot literally, during the contract, you cannot break. I don't know why it's so much difference between the staff and then the drivers. Staff cannot break their contracts, but drivers can break their contracts. So it's a bit
Weird, right?
weird, very weird.
Exit clause. They have exit clause.
Maybe the staff don't have exit clause and they have it.
I just hope that in 2025 it will not be a repeat of the 2007 Hamilton and Alonso.
No lah, I think won't happen.
I think with Vettel in charge, I'm a bit more.
I think Fred is doing a good job at Maranello.
Fred and Hamilton is the best friends.
That's the concern.
Wait and watch. Mark my words.
But Fred also has a relationship with Charles, right?
Yeah.
And their earlier young.
Yeah,
career.
well, let's see.
They always
You know
say,
something.
Vettel always says everyone is a Ferrari fan, right? So when Lewis steps in the car for the very first time, are you going to get more fans or are you going to lose more fans?
They will get more fans, especially those.
No offense.
Tak
Here-
lah.
Here's the thing. Even in Malaysia, right? A lot of the girls, a lot of the Malaysians, they are not really a Petronas fan. They're more of a Hamilton fan. And that's facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Josh came into Mercedes, they gained more fans. Because Josh is a handsome guy. Let's face it. Badri is not as good looking as Josh. That's facts.
Yeah.
So now that Hamilton is going to Ferrari, they know that they are bringing a good marketing here.
Yeah.
The merchandise is gonna skyrocket. Even now also the merchandise is skyrocketing. But if Hamilton joins, maybe he will bring all other fashion brand as well. Maybe Tommy goes to Ferrari.
Tommy Hilfiger goes to Ferrari.
Memang pun Tommy pergi Ferrari.
Tommy's going to Ferrari?
So we will see a Tommy ex Ferrari merchandise as well.
So that means
Adidas going Mercedes.
fans cannot buy Ferrari shirts from Puma anymore then?
Puma will still have the apparel. It's different. You must understand that Mercedes also have the differences.
Mercedes also.
You have Puma, Petronas merchandise, and then you have Tommy Hilfiger Petronas merchandise. So it's two different separate things. Same thing happened with Ferrari.
Puma is the shirt manufacturer. Tommy Hilfiger is the designer, more of a designer.
Design sponsor. Yeah. So I think manufacturing, like all this, will still be under Puma. It's just
how to say, corporate and non-corporate.
Yeah.
If you want to call it.
maybe team issue will be issued by Tommy lah.
Yeah.
Most probably.
Because now Mercedes, that's how Mercedes does it. Their merch is produced by Stitched. And then, but their official team wear is all Tommy issue. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So many differences, even inside the team. So,
But mind you, all these are what is certain next season. What is uncertain is still a lot more.
something is certain, bro. Hamilton will bring Brock.
You guys out there, we are only till not even round 10 yet, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more unfolding to be
I
done.
think Harris don't know about it.
Hmm.
Hamilton will bring his dog into Maranello.
Roscoe.
That's why Charles recently bought a dog also.
Yeah, everybody is bringing the pet now, thanks to Hamilton.
Just to bring.
Do you think Charles and Lewis will be like this? Will be like Nico and Lewis? Alain Prost and Senna? Would they be like that?
No.
I
I think Leclerc will back
different
off.
gun. Leclerc is a nice guy,
Yeah.
but
So they won't battle it on the track?
Maybe arguments will be there, but
Because the Leclerc had his fair share of moments as well with other riders. Max, for example,
but he did challenge Vettel in Singapore GP. Remember?
with Vettel as well.
Yeah.
So I do think he will have issues. He will have controversial moments with Lewis Hamilton as in. But we'll see.
but just to rewind back, Charles Leclerc's first few wins of the season, of his career, was actually not genuine. That is my point of view. It was not genuine. Spa was not genuine. Monza was not genuine. Even the win in Singapore GP by Vettel was not genuine. Why? The fuel flow.
Right.
Until today, people are not talking about it. It's under the wraps.
Yeah.
You know, what Ferrari did at that point of time was actually daylight cheating. You know, by allowing more fuel flow to their engine and gaining more horsepowers. After that season, you could have seen the Ferrari was just going down. The slump was there. After they restricted the fuel flow, there were two sensors in the engine. First sensor is for the initial flow that is regulated by FIA, and another sensor is for the how much percentage that is allowed during the race for you to use, and also to carry over the sample after the race for the FIA to check. So what happened was, initially in 2019, only one sensor was introduced. So you don't have the watchdog for the second sensor. So people don't know how much fuel flow that is going on in and out. So people from McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes questioned this. And then that is where they found out Ferrari was using an illegal fuel flow system.
Oh my.
But more interestingly, I think you have to also explain how do they actually settle this with the FIA.
They settled it under the wraps. There's no
That's so typical.
reason after that. I don't know how did they get it.
Oh, it's Ferrari.
Heritage lah, heritage. I don't know how that because diorang kebal. Pocket tebal. So we don't know. Until now, what the rumors that I heard of is that due to the non-introduction of the second sensor, that is how they escaped. Because the monitoring was not done very well at that point of time. So FIA admitted that, and then they say that you need to have a second sensor as well. Then they introduced that for the power units. The following races and the following season.
I really cannot believe that they decided not to disclose what was the decision.
Exactly. I don't know why.
FIA and the Ferrari.
It's just vanished like that in the thin air.
It's a huge case.
Yeah, it's a huge case.
It's a huge case.
So that's why I say it wasn't a genuine win in 2019 by Ferrari. Now, yes, it's more regulated, more balanced. So hopefully, better fight between Hamilton and Leclerc.
Yeah, hopefully. So 2025 is looking very promising, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm shaking at the moment.
Okay, so
Ah.
I think last touch point I want to raise is, where do you think 55 is going? Carlos, science.
So many rumors. Williams?
There's so many circulating.
Yeah, but the rumors are that he's already been rejected by Red Bull and Mercedes, right?
Yes. So my next prediction will be Williams.
Williams.
No. Also rumors from RB, but I think Williams.
Red Bull cannot take it because you need to have someone like Perez. Perez nowadays. Perez is
Yeah, it's slow.
No, Red Bull, the RB visa cash.
I know.
Visa cash out.
Perez, I think he will only have 1 year contract in his hand because of Helmut Marko. Will still be around next year together with Max. Max is staying next year. From my prediction, which I see how is it pleasing, Max will still stay for 1 more year. After that, maybe Mercedes. So for Perez, for Max, he needs the kaki tangan lah untuk backup dia. So Perez, despite not being the kaki tangan that he needs, will still be renewing his contract with Red Bull.
Yep.
So I think the best choice would be Williams, like we said, because Adrian Newey denied Ferrari, denied Aston, and denied Alpine rumors, but he never denied the Williams rumors. Why? His manager Eddie Jordan said in his podcast he denied.
Williams on the rise then.
I hope so, and there's a good chance for Alex Albon to shine as well.
Maybe that's why Albon signed as
He reside, right?
Yeah, he said. So everything is happening. How can people suddenly come? Italian press said that Adrian Newey is not interested in Ferrari anymore. Why? Suddenly. That time was saying that they were already waiting for his signature only. Now suddenly twist the story. I don't know whether to trust these Italian medias or not, but really.
Paparazzis.
I think I mentioned this on last time when I was with this episode. If I were Adrian Newey, I wanted a very competitive driver who can really deliver. But then again, I would avoid having dramas So if I were to go to Ferrari next year, potentially there might be a huge drama between two drivers, and he will prefer probably a more stable environment like what Red Bull had in the past years. So one dominant driver and then one less dominant driver. You see the success of Schumacher is also like that, how he dominate.
Yeah.
So I think he probably see that going into Williams, maybe. I don't know. But I think he want to avoid having Hamilton and Leclerc in his team to avoid the dramas now. Maybe.
Okay, one last question. Who is going to dominate European rounds?
It's all down to the upgrades. You know, the balance is shifting from race to race.
So
Suddenly McLaren, suddenly Ferrari, suddenly Red Bull.
it's still a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
Still a mixed bag.
It's how you nail the new packages.
Would Red Bull be able to sustain top level
Not Red Bull,
performance?
Max.
It's Ferrari versus McLaren versus Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's facts.
So it's not the car, it's the driver.
It's very clear.
Driver lah.
What he did in Imola is very clear.
Yeah, no. I'm actually very glad
People
that
still don't respect him for no reason.
Based on data, based on statistics, he should have not won the race.
Yep.
It was not meant for him, but he managed to.
But he won it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much, Eugene, Haziq. All right. This is episode 18. So by the time you guys hear us, we'll be just around the corner at Canada. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Happy weekend.
Bye.